Yep. I want to watch the Coffeezilla interview here where he gets SBF to admit to fraud.
I tricked Sam Bankman-Fried into a third interview with me, and this time he may have admitted to fraud. You'll be the judge. You can click to this timestamp if you just want to listen to the interview, but I want to explain the background, the strategy that went into this call to try to learn where others had failed, including, by the way, learning from my own failures interviewing Sam. Now, first, I want to give some background. Sam at no point has wanted to talk to me. Every time I've kind of snuck on these Q&As and started peppering
I just cannot believe Sam continues to get these Q&As and continue to interact directly with human beings. Like, one of the biggest frauds of all time, and he is still perfectly content to try and pretend that he's not and just talk to people. Just constantly talking to people about it. Being super open. It's wild. I mean, I guess I'm glad that he's that open about it, because maybe that'll eventually lead to charges against him, since for some reason they don't want to pursue charges against him, even though it was billions of dollars worth of fraud. So maybe as he continues to put his own ass in his face, maybe then they'll be motivated enough to go after him, but it blows my mind that he continues to do this. Sam Bankman-Fried, that is.
Usually leaves, but I realized that since this was my third time basically doing the exact same trick, it was probably going to be one of my last, because at some point he was going to catch on. So I knew going into this, it might be my last chance to interview Sam. And because of that, I had to think long and hard about what the perfect line of questioning would be to really pin Sam down.
Ask him why he's hard stuck bronze in league.
Dodging questions. He's done it with everybody so far, including me, by the way. And I mean, look, I think we've got some great stuff, but to this point, I didn't think anyone had gotten that smoking gun. He always denies everything. He always has a sort of a loophole out of it. So I'd have to try a different tactic. And here was my plan. Sam's whole excuse about not being a con man all hinges around Alameda Research. Basically, he says he knew
very
nothing
reliable
of what was going on there because
organization.
He's the CEO of FTX. And while that's nearly impossible to believe that he's this stupid or incompetent, it's really hard to prove 100%. So I realized if we were going to do this, I'd have to remove Alameda from my case, right? I needed to show that Sam had knowingly defrauded people without invoking Alameda at any point. And here was my plan to do it. I was going to spend the entire time laser focused on the FTX terms of service. Now, some of you may know FTX lays out that
interesting
they cannot
strategy.
use customer funds for anything. They can't trade with them. They can't loan them out. And I thought this was a really important point because obviously that money is no longer there. So clearly something must have happened. But I'm far from the first person to notice this. Many people, including myself, have already tried to ask him about
he called
this
it out
and pin him
already.
down, but for various reasons, well, it didn't work. And I needed to learn why so we could avoid it. So I want to go through a few major interviews with Sam and show why this line of questioning has always fallen apart, starting with the New York Times.
In terms of service for FTX, and I just want to read you this. It says, none of the digital assets in your account are the property of or shall or may be loaned to FTX Trading. FTX Trading does not represent or treat digital assets in users' accounts as belonging to FTX Trading. So how is it possible that Alameda had this loan of...
God, he just looks like such a villain.
So there's that piece from the terms of service, but there were a number of other parts of the terms of service and a number of other parts of the platform on top of that. There is the borrow lending facility, where users were lending billions of dollars of assets to each other, collateralized by assets on the exchange. You had obviously...
Yeah, but why do you suck so much ass at League?
Now, of course, all of this, it's meant to be the case that these are positions where FTX could, if it needed to, margin call those positions and close them down in time such that it would cover all of those, all those shorts, all those liabilities. Obviously, that wasn't the case here, and that's a massive failure of oversight, of risk management, and of...
It's such a fucking frustrating defense to listen to. So instead of admitting to fraud, because obviously he's not dumb enough to just blatantly admit to fraud, until now, I guess, with the Coffeezilla interview, instead of admitting to anything, he blames it all on, I'm just a fucking imbecile. Like I am actually the dumbest man of all time. This was a failure on every level because I'm so fucking stupid. How quirky with my dumb, smooth brain. Haha, how dumb. I'm just so dumb. I can't believe we did this. We were so stupid and short-sighted to do this. His defense is, I am just a fucking moron. That is his whole defense. I'm not a criminal, I'm not a fraud, I'm just the dumbest man on this entire planet. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Is there some meatloaf, beak, and bats?
Responsibility from myself running FTX.
Because he is stupid. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna call this man smart. He is like observably dumb. But he is also a con man. He is a fraud. He knowingly committed crimes. Like, that's not some accidental thing that was a byproduct of being a fucking actual buffoon. It's because he is a con man criminal.
Yes.
But let's just make this very straight. Was there commingling of funds? That's what it appears like. It appears like there's been a genuine commingling of the funds that are of FTX customers that were not supposed to be commingled with your separate firm.
I didn't knowingly commingle funds.
Okay, Sorkin tried and failed here to pin him down on the terms of service. Why? Well, because Sam escapes in this talk about a different part of the terms of service, which related to margin trading, where you take out some kind of a loan. And in a way, it was a complete deflection. It doesn't matter that there's a separate margin trading terms of service because the people who weren't margin trading still should have had their funds kept safe. But it sort of threw Sorkin off track. And so now we're going to move to the Stephanopoulos interview, which was a bit better because Sam's going to try the margin trading story. But watch Stephanopoulos. He does a better job at honing in on the question.
But as you know, the FTX terms of service tell the people who signed up, none of the digital assets in your account are the property of or shall be or may be loaned to FTX trading.
Oh, I got it wrong.
You're saying that happened.
My understanding is a few things happened. The first is there is a margin trading facility on FTX.
Is it big?
By which users can lend out funds, by which other users borrow funds. And so there are explicit cases where there is, margin extended, where there is borrow lending.
If Alameda is borrowing the money that belongs to FTX depositors, that's a bright red line, isn't it?
There are a lot of cases where that's actually explicitly part of the programs and that are happening.
But not here. Here it says that the digital assets may not be loaned to FTX trading. They can't be loaned out.
Jesus. Just listening to the way he conducts himself, holy fuck, it is so grating. There is no man that is more, annoying than Sam Bankman-Fried. Oh my lord. And this is nothing compared to that video they made about him calling them the world's most generous billionaire. He repeats it to himself like he's a child in class trying to struggle to read something out loud. Ugh. Oh, did I write that? No, that couldn't have been there. You can't loan to FTX. No. Oh, just another failure. Man, we're so goofy. We're so stupid. I can't believe we did. We wrote that? Oh my god. Well, it wasn't on purpose. We're just dumb. You can't throw me in jail for being dumb. It's like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Borrow lending facility on FTX. And I think that's probably covered, I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere else in the terms of service.
But they'd have to approve of that. They're saying they didn't approve of it here. They're saying you approved of it.
Now, this is great stuff from Stephanopoulos. He refocused the question, but Sam's about to weasel out with a new trick. Go ahead and watch.
If
crying.
You rewind
he cries.
To, the beginning of FTX, where, some customers were, I think in line with sort of existing relationships that they've had, at least in some cases, wiring money straight to Alameda Research in order to trade on FTX.
So you do know, and you did know, that FTX deposits were being funneled to Alameda.
So I was vaguely aware that that was how some wires were being sent in the first place.
Didn't that set off alarm bells in your head?
Oh, don't give him a way out. This is throwing him a softball at the end. He was doing a great job, but yeah, I definitely see how SBF gets his way out of this one. He squeaks it out, little stinker. I was too busy playing League of Legends, and I was only vaguely aware of crimes or something related to illegal activity or the violation of our own terms. You know how much I play League, right? Because I am Bronze 3. And I just must have been so distracted or on tilt that day. Oh my God, I should have paid more attention. I'm so silly. I can't believe I've done this.
So there were a lot of people who were involved in that process. And look, I really deeply wish that I had taken like a lot more responsibility for understanding what the details were of what was going on there.
This is how he slips out again.
Yep.
He tried the margin trading explanation. It didn't work. So he pivots to, okay, well, there's this weird backstory where FTX used to take wires from Alameda. And maybe that's where we lost the money, right? It's another smokescreen. But unfortunately, it kind of hamstrung the conversation. And if I was going to succeed, I'd have to beat that explanation. And in the first couple interviews I did with Sam, I tried to go with like this insider angle, where insiders I had talked to had told me something very different. But it didn't work. Go ahead and watch.
There's sort of all this talk about the terms of service. Did you break terms of service? Did you not? You're basically claiming that there was this separate side of your terms of service. But I talked to somebody from Alameda and asked how big the position of or how many people had assets in the type of accounts that terms of service would apply to versus the regular terms of service, which said you couldn't use their money. And they said it was about $1 billion that was in the margin trading or the margin side of things where you could reuse their funds or whatever. And there was the rest of it was not there. So it seems like you're putting all your eggs behind this one excuse about, there was this separate side of the terms of service. How do you address everyone else?
So I don't have all the data in front of me. My memory is that it was substantially more than $1 billion. I can't verify that. On top of that, there were other effects as well. Some of those were early wire transfers sent directly to Alameda.
Yeah, I kind of got stuck where Stephanopoulos roughly got stuck. I should have known that he was just going to refuse the evidence of insiders and just say, well, I disagree, and go back to his Alameda wire explanation. And I tried following it up.
To be fair, though, I think Coffeezilla's angle there was a smart one to play, but you're going up against a guy who's trying to be still trying to maintain that altruism almost, where he's like, I'm so open and honest, like everything collapsed, everything failed, but it's because of some shortcomings that I did out of, a misunderstanding and a couple of mistakes along the way. I'm still young, I'm still learning, still time to grow, and then busting out an interpretive dance apology. So it's just like a really hard position to argue against. Thanks to the Prime Fire and the resub Noto and 40AF.
Up a bit, but it didn't really matter. I had kind of missed my shot on that particular angle. And as I reflected on this, I realized all of the talk about margin trading, future trading, wire transfers to Alameda, all of it is a smokescreen from the big problem. The big problem is that some percentage of FTX's customer base never sent a wire to Alameda. They never signed up to margin trading. They never did spot margin. All they did was put their assets on the platform, and they were told that their assets would not be borrowed, it would not be loaned out, and that money would always be there. And it wasn't there. Why wasn't it there? There's no other way to explain that. If the money's not there, then fraud. And I had to laser in on that one point, not get distracted by these shiny objects that Sam's throwing up about this or that, or what about this, what about that? No, there's only one question that matters, and it's impossible for him to answer, I thought. So that was my strategy going into it. That was the backstory and how I learned from previous interviews. So without further ado, here's my third and probably final call with Sam Bankman-Fried.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to be the final call. Sam Bankman-Fried's going to go on another goddamn Twitter live stream with strangers yet again. And Coffeezilla can just get in there and interview him again if he wants. Like, for some reason, this fucking guy is so addicted to doing interviews about his, scam. It blows my mind. It actually blows my mind.
You're trying to do things with good intentions.
I'm about to go up.
Okay, Coffee, you're up.
Hey, Sam, it's me again. I just wanted to ask real quick about the terms of service question, which Rec brought up a little bit. I want to expound on it. Can you just tell us, yes or no, were you treating client assets just on the regular digital asset side different from the margin trading side?
I do think we were treating them differently. There were a bunch of different sides. There were more than two sides there. But I do think that we
give some Revolucio and give some Wafflix.
That we were cognizant of the fact that like there were differences between uses for like margin versus staking versus spot versus futures collateral versus other things.
Yeah, just people. I'm just talking about people just putting Bitcoin on the exchange. Yeah. Obviously, there was really clear terms of service around that. If it's true that you didn't invest client assets, not even in treasuries, as you said via a now deleted tweet, why do those client assets no longer exist?
So
repeat the question. I'm in a mid lane battle right now.
Through some of this. Here's my best guess, and I wish I could give you a more confident answer, but I don't have the data. But my best guess is basically it's a combination of the following. One piece is the transfer sent directly to Alameda Research from customers. One piece, and that I think is a fairly substantial piece. One piece is.
Wait, can you explain what that piece means? So people were sending money to Alameda instead of they were getting credited on FTX, and Alameda just ended up using those funds, and they were never held separately per the terms of service.
Well, there was a separate legal agreement with that. I don't know the details of it. I don't have it in front of me, but
God, it's every question you ask him. It's like, well, I'm actually really not sure what you're talking about, but if I had to guess, like as if you didn't own the company, like you didn't make the company, like it's like asking your dad who only like read the headlines about FTX these questions. Like that's his responses. I don't actually know where this could have gone. If I had to, spitball and, give you a ballpark, it probably went into Kmart stock. Like, Jesus Christ.
There's a separate legal agreement with respect to transfers that were sent directly to Alameda Research by users, especially before FTX had its own bank accounts. And so I do think that is part of what happened there, likely.
Let's focus on only client assets that happened after FTX got a bank. Y'all said digital assets are treated a very specific way. Why were those digital assets not treated that way?
So of the remaining piece, and there's a few
I can
other
feel him
pieces as
sweating.
well, around futures and other things. I understand that's not what you're talking about. For the ones that you are talking about, right? For the ones that were left, and I'm just taking a stab at this because I don't have the data. My best guess is the following: is that there were a lot of those assets remaining. We processed something like $5 or $6 billion, I think, of withdrawals over the few days prior to, or I guess the few days during the crash, and there are still a few $1 billion of those remaining, I think, in the estate. And so you put those together, you have many billions of dollars of those assets. But I think, and so that's part of the answer, is that
you're getting so lost in the sauce. This is such a blatant, placate attempt here to get off of this.
Probably still have there, which is, well, how about people who didn't withdraw and were also in that bucket? And part of the answer is, well, there still do exist some number of billions of dollars of assets, of hard assets in the estate.
No, is there one-to-one assets? Because that's the whole thing. We're talking about a separation of funds. So those funds should be in a different place, in a different wallet than everybody else. What you talked about, servicing billions of dollars of withdrawals, has nothing to do with those
literally
digital assets, because that's just first come, first serve, whoever pulled out first. We're talking about people who never agreed to have their funds loaned out, who never agreed to have their funds put on margin. They should have, according to your terms of service, one-to-one backing. It should all still be in some bucket somewhere. And are you confident today, as the CEO of FTX, this has nothing to do with Alameda, are you confident today to say that those are absolutely real and they exist and they're present, people are backed one-to-one on client digital assets?
His response is going to be, well, what terms of service? I don't really know what that means, but if I had to wager a foggy stab in the dark, for those that don't understand the line of questioning Coffeezilla is going for, he's focusing in on like a really core component to this, where there's people like, back to this, like your dad heard about FTX. He saw that Super Bowl commercial with Larry David. He's like, yeah, I think I'm out. Don't be like Larry. Put your money in FTX. It's a great, safe, wonderful thing. So he just puts his money in there. He doesn't agree to do any like margins. He doesn't agree to anything else. He just wants his money in there. And according to FTX, that money would always be there, 1-to-1. It wouldn't go to anywhere else. It wouldn't go to Alameda. It wouldn't go anywhere you would have it. It would just be there. But that's not the case, clearly. That ended up not being the case. They know, it appears all of that is gone.
So I think, and again, I'm just taking a stab here, but I think
almost verbatim what I just said, he would say,
is that if you look at especially a lot of the withdrawals that happened, those withdrawals were not necessarily only coming from people who never used margin trading or futures or staking or anything else. Those weren't just withdrawals from people who were keeping 1-to-1 backed. Or we're sort of just keeping them as pure spot balances, and it was omnibus wallets between the various categories, and so I think that the answer to your question is that a number of those assets were withdrawn by people who had balances on the exchange, potentially in the few days prior to the collapse, and if you wanted to think about it this way. It could be that that happened, and then when the collapse sort of completed, that effectively meant that there was, if you wanted to put it this way, like fungibility created during those withdrawals between assets for people who had and had not been using.
But that means that there is no separation of funds. If there's fungibility between two different buckets of there are no buckets. It's just one bucket. Everyone's taking out of the bucket, which... This
really seems like SBF is tossing out buzzwords that he doesn't even understand himself. Like that, this is rough. This is pretty rough. And it's made even worse by the I think, maybe. Well, I don't really know.
Which means substantially anyone who had your terms of service with digital assets wasn't actually subject to that terms of service. They were subject to the same terms of service of your margin trading, right? Which is your more risky product. So you subjected everyone to the higher risk product because fundamentally, when it came down to it, you're saying there's fungibility. It's $1 here, $1 there. Everyone can take out $1 as fast as they want. Don't you see that as like defrauding your customers, the people who trusted you to just say, hey, this is not going to go anywhere except for we're not investing your assets. If I can exchange 1-to-1 and I'm the one who put risky stuff on with risky assets with risky terms of service, I can take the money that someone who didn't sign up to those same risky terms didn't agree to. Isn't that fraud?
Well, yes, so, I think.
I'm specifically talking about what happened in the days immediately during and following the crash, in that 3 or so day period, and during that period, I think we may have allowed just generalized withdrawals. I think that was if you're saying,
do you not realize what you're saying right now?
Withdrawals for everyone who had an open futures position, for clawback potential or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that would have been the right thing to do. I hear where you're coming from on that. I felt, at the time, that, we wanted to treat customers equally. It was an incredible.
But they had agreed to different things, so you can't treat them equally.
Yeah, like he's trying. Oh my God, he's trying to take this angle like everyone's equal here, but like you have different areas of investment, like the risky assets. I put in for these terms, it's risky, I get that, I accept that risk. But then you have the people like Coffeezilla is focusing on, I don't want to do the risky shit, I just want this 1-to-1, I want it to sit there, I just want it to be 1-to-1, nothing else. And SBF is just admitting, well, actually, everyone played by the same rules. Like, they didn't make a distinction, there's no separation. Thus, fraud. Fucking fraud. It's just that simple.
I mean, it's like, this is the whole problem of the story of FTX and Alameda, is all the funds were being commingled. Isn't this just another story of commingling funds, except this is now FTX, which you can't pass the blame to Alameda anymore. This is your company, your funds, that you are treating all the clients the same when they clearly signed up to different terms of service.
So I just want to respond to that. And please, I completely respect your question, but you have monopolized all of these discussions, Coffeezilla. You need to let others speak, and you need to respond to what I'm saying and not grandstand as much here. I completely understand where you're coming from. But to answer your question, I didn't make a decision there. We processed withdrawals as we normally do until it became clear we couldn't anymore, at which point we shut them off. And it was the case that, like, at that point, there was a big liquidity hole. That's what happened. If you want to judge that process and think that, like, we should have been spending those days frantically trying to code up a new withdrawal process, I disagree with you, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, sure. I think that's fine. I mean, it's not about coding up a new withdrawal process. It's about treating your client assets the way you told them they'd be treated, right? It's a very different thing.
It's super simple.
Completely. But anyways, I'll stop grandstanding for Sam. Thanks, guys. Oh, my gosh.
I legitimately, truly believe SBF doesn't even realize what kind of conversation he just had. I actually think he has no clue what he was even talking about, like, or the ramifications of what he was saying. I am truly convinced he actually just doesn't know.
Woo! Oh my gosh. Wow. We got the call out. We got the shout out. All right. You can probably tell I was pretty excited about that because I finally got what I was looking for. A straight answer on the problem of funds.
With
right?
1,000 ums surrounding
says
it.
That FTX was not separating funds. They were allowing generalized withdrawals. The dollars were fungible from different buckets. You can't do that. We finally dodged all the BS about margin trading, about Alameda wires. We finally got to the heart of it, which is that there are no funds left over for the people who just should have had their funds separated because they never separated them from the beginning. They were always seemingly commingled. And although Sam wouldn't necessarily agree that they were always commingled, the proof is in the pudding. FTX owes billions of dollars that they do not have. Yep. And it's because of how they allowed withdrawals. To give you kind of a regular finance analogy about why this is so cataclysmically bad, and in my opinion, fraud. Imagine you banked at JP Morgan Chase.
Not even your opinion. It is just fraud. It is just fraud.
Savings account.
It's more than an opinion. It's just fraud.
Then you find out that they actually had this risky hedge fund. And you know what? They actually kind of blew up. In fact, they blew up so badly that JP Morgan Chase, it's all shutting down. But when you go to the bank to withdraw your money, you find out that instead of keeping your money safely in your savings account, they had allowed the people in the hedge fund business to just withdraw it, you know, first come, first serve, right? They treated all clients the same, according to them. Well, you say, well, no, that's fraud because you signed up to very different terms of service than the guy who knew he was going to be like, you know, in this hedge fund, right? He had a different level of risk. He acknowledged that level of risk. And if you just throw all the money in one pot, the terms of service are meaningless, right? You're exposed to the same level of risk as the guy who took on huge risk. And that's fundamentally what happened at FTX. That's fraud. They told people their money was safe, and ultimately, they just subjected everyone to the same risk as like the day trading degenerate gambler on 100x leverage. And I really found the last thing Sam told me like so telling.
To answer your question, I didn't make a decision there. We processed withdrawals as we normally do.
God.
That's what happened. If you want to judge that process and think that like we should have been spending those days frantically trying to code up a new withdrawal process, I disagree with you, but I understand where you're coming from.
This is so interesting because no, of course I don't think you should be coding up a new withdrawal process while you're going bankrupt. But if throwing all your client funds in a pool and letting the first come first serve get the money, that's the wrong process to begin with. Your process was fraudulent from the start. It should have never been your process. Your process should have been what you promised clients, which is, of course, what I told Sam. And although I think Sam's probably guilty of a lot more than we covered here, I really wanted to get to this minimum viable fraud case, and I think we did get
Amen.
it. I mean, there is no sort of wiggling around the fact that he was the CEO of FTX, and all of this stuff that was bad that we proved happened at FTX. You don't have to invoke Alameda to get to this, so you can't say he didn't know, because he definitely did know, and he says he knew. So the last thing I'm going to close on, and I thought it was the funniest part, was his little outburst at the end about me monopolizing his...
Oh, that was pretty awesome.
I just want to respond to that. And please, I completely respect your question, but you have monopolized all of these discussions, Coffeezilla. You need to let others speak, and you need to respond to what I'm saying and not grandstand as much here.
And I thought it was notable for two reasons. One, he hasn't lost his cool once in any interview. This is the first time I heard him like really crack. And I thought that was interesting. But I also thought it was interesting because it's just not true. It's totally wrong. I've talked to Sam for, I think, 30 minutes across 3 interviews total, like in total. And for context, he gave the New York Times an hour. He gave George Stephanopoulos 2 hours. I think out of everyone he's talked to, or at least of the major interviews, I've talked to him the least. So if anything, I'm efficient with my time. That's all I'm going to say. And speaking of being efficient with my time, this video is over. Lock this man up, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.
Fucking amazing job. That's so fucking good. Sam Bankman-Fried, though, is legitimately grating to try and listen to. God, it's so frustrating. Yeah, he's not even close to getting like arrested, going to trial or anything. For some reason, so many outlets are still sucking his dick. It makes no sense. No sense at all. It is so backwards. So backwards. Thanks to resub Lamari. He won't ever be. Yeah, I'm losing faith that he will ever actually face justice. Thanks to Prime Far. And the resub Fiend. Donated millions to both political parties. He's untouchable. I guess, man. I didn't believe that at first. I didn't think that would give him immunity. But holy shit. It's just such a blatant case of fraud, and everybody knows it. Yet Wall Street Journal is still printing things like, the most generous billionaire was about to save the world. Till his company collapsed unjustly, you swine. The world could have been saved if only we had let Sam Bankman-Fried continue to scam. But that's the crazy thing. Sam Bankman-Fried is not a billionaire anymore. He has less money than pretty much everyone here right now. Even the people in chat. He has like $0 to his name. The money he has now is his parents' money. Because his parents are fucking compliance lawyers. So he is no longer a billionaire. I thought they would have thrown him to the wolves because now he can no longer donate to them. He does not have that money. That man is so fucking broke now. He has like 300 mil in a new shell company. I haven't seen that conspiracy yet. Maybe. I mean, it's very possible he has some money somewhere off the books, somewhere along the pipeline. That's super possible. Thanks to resub golf. It's not a conspiracy? Well, I haven't even heard that. Where's that info at? Last I heard, he said he might have 100K stashed away somewhere. That was the last time I saw that. Or last time I saw any comment on, like, his current wealth. That article was from November 30th, and it's from... Who is this? Interesting Engineering. They were the first one to report this. About having the 100K stashed somewhere. Where can I read about the money that he's stockpiled somewhere? Atrioc made a video on it? Wait, what? Oh, it must be in this one. I didn't see this one. He used a shell company to move 600 mil in Robinhood shares. It's in the Big A video. Oh, fuck me. I had no idea. That's not even being written about. wait. I didn't see anything about that. Not a single article. Hold on. What? Let's see. Robin Hood. It's everywhere? No, I just typed it in and it's still not coming up. I'm looking for his Robinhood assets that is apparently worth 600 mil. The most recent one is from CNBC saying that his Robinhood stake is tied to the FTX bankruptcy, but it doesn't mention anything about any of his shell companies here. So it seems like that's still inaccessible funds. Here's the resub Caesar in action. In Folek. Look into his background. No, I know his parents are compliance lawyers. Like, he was actually just born rich. He had a great spawn. In his own world's most generous billionaire fluff piece, he said, the way I originally made money is I bought Bitcoin on a US exchange for 10K, and I sold it on a Japanese exchange for 11K. So I put $10 million into Bitcoin on American exchange, and then just swapped it in the Japanese exchange. Like, he just had millions upon millions. I also don't think that's the way he made his money, by the way. But even still, he couldn't even come up with something almost remotely relatable to, like, an average layman. Well, you see, if you start with $10 million, you can actually make quite a lot of money with just a measly 10 million lying around. I mean, anyone can do this. So he basically merged at the GE. Well, yeah, I guess kind of. Thanks, Resub Hazard. Resub Valentine. Shit is so insufferable. Like, how do you get away with this? Because the only people affected were, like, normal people. Like, I read an article the other day. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, the guy who talks about people not being rich, or what the fuck was his quote? I even just mentioned it, like, yesterday. There's something like the top 0.1% have more money than the bottom 88% who live in poverty, and Kevin O'Leary was like, that's wonderful news or some shit like that, fantastic news. Well, it came out that he was actually paid $15 million in order to shill FTX. So everything that he keeps saying about how amazing SBF is, like, everything about, like, you know, SBF may have had this entire empire collapse, but I'd invest in him all over again. All of it is just paid for. Gave him 15 mil for it. Thanks, the resub bits. Yeah, I'm gonna play Choo Choo Charles tomorrow, not tonight. Yeah, because Kevin needs more money. Yeah, but this was 15 mil for doing nothing but posting a couple TikToks being like, Sam Bankman-Fried is one of the smartest men I've ever seen in my life. He'll make you a billionaire if you put your money into FTX. Like, it's just, it's 15 mil for just like a TikTok, basically. So even though Kevin O'Leary's already filthy rich, like, I totally see him taking 15 mil for nothing. Nothing. Haven't heard R. Kelly's new music yet, but I will listen to it at some point. sounds like a lot of distractions. What are you talking about? You talking about FTX? Thanks to give sub zibs. Where's Sam Bankman-Fried's girlfriend these days? Did she get away? Talking about the 28-year-old Harry Potter fan, head of Alameda. Oh my god. Head of Alameda? I don't know. Thanks, resub Diamond. The 2 give subs sexy. She was spotted in New York City. Like, are they coming after her? What was her name again? I don't see anything about her going after her. Huh. Only that they're keeping their eyes on her. Let me look at something else. Let's see. This is a cool title. Caroline Ellison, math whiz and Newton native, was bound for success. Then she got into crypto. Cool. Thanks the resub Kringle and the Prime Blue, the resub Klutz. The bits Cardi sleep well.
So when
Probably
we're talking about taking back power, it's really not even from the government. It's really from corporations that dominate our lives. And that system, right, does not work for 95% of the people on the planet. Why? Because the banks control all the money in the world. We talk about all the money in the world. What Celsius does is really helps people navigate in a safe way into this environment. So when you use a Celsius wallet, you know, okay, I'm gonna earn yield and I'm gonna stay safe in a safe environment.
Sign me the fuck up.
Celsius already did the homework and figured out what's safe. Normally we trust people that...
I always love that. Hey, don't think too hard, we'll tell you what's safe. That always makes me feel good. Whenever someone says some shit like that, it's like, I know that there is some shady shit afoot. No, trust us, trust us. We looked into it ourselves and we've determined these are what's safe.
That we think are acting in our best interest. But what if these people are not acting in our best interest? What if their interest is exactly the opposite of ours? Should we continue giving them our money, or should we take the money and put it somewhere else?
To understand Celsius and how they got 30 billion in assets, you first have to understand what they were selling. It wasn't just a place to borrow or lend money. It was more than that. It was a battle against the evil banks. And their CEO, Alex Mashinsky, was here to level the playing field.
Banks are not your friend. But Alex is your friend? Yes. So I have a lot of my own money in the company, several $100 million as well. I'm talking about as a user of the service, not as a equity shareholder. So basically everybody came in and said, hey, can I take the same ride on the same bus with you? You're earning 8.8%, can I earn it? And the answer is yes, you get exactly the same. You have $100 or $1,000 or $1 million, you earn the same yield as everybody else.
And this pitch was really attractive.
Man,
not to mention,
he's just like us.
Offered 8% on your money at a time when your bank probably offered less than 1%. Mashinsky said this is part of how he was battling the banks.
We basically thought, okay, how many people in the world want to earn more money on their money, yield? And we
Nobody,
said 8
no one
billion
wants that.
people are going to say, of course, I want to earn more money on my money. So the customer was there. The second part was, we can take on the banks and win. Why? Because 8 billion people are going to join you. And that was really the key to make that decision. Then we went and presented it to 200 venture companies, and they all said, nope, you're not going to win against the banks. So we went to the community. We actually went to the community, said, we're going to build this for you. Do you want it? And we raised $50 million from the community. And then we went and raised $400 million from investors after we showed them, hey, 1.5 million people showed up.
God, that's so sad knowing how this story plays out.
Even as 30 billion,
fuck, Jesus.
That people will send somebody money to manage or digital assets to manage. And that was really a breakthrough. No one has done that in 700 years of banking. There hasn't been anyone who actually taken on the banks in the real way.
And this clearly worked. Celsius customers told me that the reason they switched was just to get a higher yield on their money.
Honestly, I was looking for a place to stake and earn interest and earn yield on my crypto.
I was actually first in crypto.com, and then I saw Celsius on YouTube. It had higher yields and everything, so I kind of moved my stuff from crypto.com to Celsius.
People were writing about Alex Machinsky and all the messaging on the website. You know, he's an entrepreneur.
Hold on, I wanted to read that. Why trust Celsius? What was the old pitch? That's pretty quick. I imagine it went on for much further.
On the website, you know, he's an entrepreneur that had created all these companies, and he didn't need the money. You know, this was billed as a high yield savings account.
Once again, he just said something that is the nail in the coffin for so many people. He already had so much money, he didn't need the money. AKA, this guy's already rich, surely he wouldn't scam me. That is one of the most fucking common threads in the, not only the crypto space, I guess, in general. This perception of they're so wealthy they wouldn't need to scam, thus they would never take advantage of us. And then every time, like clockwork, shit like this happens. It was the same story for fucking CryptoZoo with Logan Paul, for example. Like, it is... I don't know how much longer that perception's going to last, but hopefully it's done pretty soon, because goddamn, that is the undoing of so many people. It's the prime tension. Oh, and thank you for the raid, MJ. Hope you had a great stream. Thanks for the resub, Bear. Did I see Russell Brand on JRE? What? No. Can't say I did.
That was outside the traditional financial...
Sure, oh yeah, true. Surely by default, these people are better than the banks because everyone hates banks. It was a very smart angle. It really was. I think banks are a very easy one. Like, hey, we don't like banks, so don't bank with them. And unbank yourself and come to Celsius. It's very appealing, especially with like an 8.8 interest rate and all that. Like, it's no surprise it took off. It's not shocking. Thanks to the resub Tyrant and the gift sub Calamitous and the resub Javier. And no, I don't know what that is, Carp.
Systems.
Now look, of course, in hindsight, maybe
ZC.
These high interest rates should have been obvious red flags, but at the time, because of other crypto projects, things didn't seem so crazy.
There was also others that were much, much bigger and much higher. You know, look at Luna and stuff like that. So.
Oh, it's crazy. It's all connected. Terra Luna, this is Do Kwon's project. This was at a point the third largest traded crypto, and this went to actual less than zero, costing normal, average people billions of dollars. They lost everything. It is wild how it all just circles back around in the space, man. I think Do Kwon's still on the FBI's most wanted list unless he got caught or turned himself in, or I don't really know the status of that, but for a little while he was like a legitimate fucking fugitive from the law. Thanks to the resub Tyler, Sampling, and Lil Uzi.
Luna and stuff like that. So in comparison, it didn't seem as crazy at the time.
But it wasn't just the competitors who convinced people. It was Mashinsky himself, who gave a really compelling argument that banks were lending out your money and keeping most of the profit for themselves. And he was going to do something different.
We're paying fees upon fees upon fees. They charge us $24, 24% per year to basically borrow money on our credit card. They charge us 24%, but they pay us 0.1%. So where is all that profit going to, right? It's going to the toll collectors. So the opportunity is really for all of us to, again, go off this toll highway road and go into a new world where we don't pay any tolls, we don't pay any fees, we act in our best interest.
And this is the vision that most people bought into. Alex was going to lend out your money and pass most of the profits back to you. 80%, in fact.
And that was the argument that was repeatedly said. I remember them talking about how 80% of their profits were returned to users as a reward. And so that's what I thought I was doing. I thought I was loaning money to someone that had posted enough collateral to pay back in the event of a default.
We then lend it to the institution. The institution.
I mean, it's not stupid. Like, the people that bought into it aren't stupid for it.
$700 million of interest from the institution and distribute most of that. 80% of that went to the retail users. 80% of whatever we collected. Celsians next to you are benefiting because we are lending the collateral you gave us, redistributing 80% of that income with all the other Celsians. So it's a win-win-win.
Now, of course, if that's not enough to convince you, Celsius also said that in addition to making high yield, they were extremely conservative. They told customers that there was collateral backing up all their loans in case of a disaster. And the key thing to understand here is that this secured loan with collateral is much less risky than unsecured loans where there is no collateral. And ultimately, Celsius said because of this, a bank run wouldn't affect them.
And every day, we have a process, the daily reconciliation process, where our team, like 20 or 25 people, get on a call and grind through all the tokens and all the coins and make sure that we have more coins than what we owe the community, right? That's our process. And no bank in the world can do that for you because they never have enough assets to return for you if there is a run on the bank.
And these promises of safety and collateralization were key to people actually putting their money in with Celsius.
When I deposited my money in Celsius, I thought their primary business model was over-collateralized lending. I thought they would deposit more assets than they borrowed money on the platform and they'd pay interest to pay a return. And so that way I said, hey, I'm not going to lose my money because all the loans are over-collateralized and I'm able to earn a yield.
And look, all of this...
like this guy, that guy in particular, clearly had like a fundamental understanding of it and buying into the vision. But like, if one of the main things is I probably won't lose my money because of this, it's like, that's not like a super strong reason to get into it. If like, I probably won't lose all my money here. I don't know. But then again, I'm just super jaded on crypto entirely. Thanks to Resub Cosby, Psyched, Cinchi, and the Prime Felix. That's how finance works. I mean, I don't think anyone ever puts money into the bank and being like, well, hopefully I don't lose all this money by it being in the bank. That doesn't typically happen. I'm not saying it's impossible or anything, but that's not typically what happens. I'm no fan of banks either, but to go to, like, goofball crypto to try and replace it is very risky. Thanks to the resub, Goddess and Bunny. Do bank robberies not happen? Brother, if your bank got robbed right now and you lost a lot of money, that shit is insured. You would get that money back. So even if fucking Wile E. Coyote and the Dirty Boys came out and they stole from your bank and you lost money in that robbery, you are getting that money back. It's insured. Whereas if it happened in crypto, where, like, let's use an example, Axie Infinity, which is a crypto game, they got hacked for 600 mil. Hacked. I imagine there's probably some shady shit at play there where they just took 600 mil off the table, called it a hack. Don't know for sure, but that'd be my guess. You don't get that back. That's just gone. That's just straight up fucking gone. You ever notice Dr. Stone is mid? I didn't like season 2 of Dr. Stone, so I still haven't even seen the movie that came out.
Sounds great. And so far we've been establishing why people were so excited about Celsius in the first place. So if that was the case, then what's the problem? Well, the problem was Celsius went bankrupt. And not everything was as it seemed. Let's go back to the studio.
Crypto lender went from managing billions in assets to filing for bankruptcy in just a matter of months.
CNBC obtained dozens of internal documents that in part show disorganization. As prices drop, and the industry faces a liquidity crunch.
The collapse of Celsius came as a huge surprise to anyone listening to Alex Mashinsky. All the way up to shutting down, he had claimed that Celsius had billions of dollars in liquidity, just ready for withdrawals.
We have billions of dollars in liquidity. So anyone who wants to withdraw, that's a service. You can withdraw at any time.
So what happened? If that was true, why did it fall apart? Well, the picture wasn't clear at the time. We heard allegations from people like Dirty Vocal Media that Alex Mashinsky was selling his own tokens. We also found out that Alex withdrew money off of Celsius before it shut down. But at this point, we didn't fully understand why Celsius had collapsed. Was it just incompetence or greed? These were open questions until a few weeks ago, because that's when the court-appointed examiner released her 600-page report detailing exactly what happened with Celsius. In this massive report, the examiner details not only systemic lying, a Ponzi-like scheme, but also tells us what I think constitutes fraud. Here's a breakdown of the report, starting with the biggest lie of all: the interest you'd get on depositing your crypto. You see, for years, Celsius had been telling people they paid what they did because it was 80% of their profits they were earning from all these loans.
And we're very proud as well to pay out over 80% of our revenues directly back to the community. And so this is something that we are going to continue to do. And we look very carefully at all of our numbers on both sides to make sure that we are doing that. And that's also what is helping us decide the rates every single week that we're paying out on coins.
You gotta take a better look at those numbers then,
According
actually.
to the report, Celsius did not distribute up to 80% of its revenues to its customers because it had little to no profits to even distribute. Celsius also made no efforts to set its reward rates based on its yield. And look, I know what you're thinking. If they didn't set the rewards based on what they actually were making as a company, what did they set them based on? Well, on getting more customers. And according to the report, Celsius consistently set its reward rates based on what they perceived was necessary to beat the competition. And for most of Celsius's existence, the rewards it paid exceeded by substantial amounts the revenues Celsius could earn. So for those of you following along, the whole idea that we're paying 80% of what we make was a total fabrication. Celsius just wanted more customers, which, as you might imagine, works when you're bringing on more assets with new users than you're paying in interest. But eventually, when you have billions of dollars in assets,
seems like textbook
you have to
fraud
pay
to me
rewards
then.
based on that.
Already.
And the Celsius team realized they had a problem. But even as some within Celsius management attempted to lower reward rates, Mashinsky, quote, overrode their recommendations and refused to do so.
No, not
One example
Mashinsky.
of
That
this
guy's a
was when
golden
Jason
saint.
Perman, a Celsius executive, recalled Mashinsky saying that Celsius could not cut its reward rates because of his belief that our customers will leave us. And that, quote, our investors didn't invest in us to shrink, they invested in us to double. So with this new understanding that they weren't going to be able to lower reward
chef
rates,
and hydration,
they realized
Matt,
they were
Funk,
stuck with the other strategy,
Fire,
trying to raise what they were able
Shadow.
to make with their assets by employing riskier investment strategies to try to get closer to profitability. And guess what? They lied about this too. Even as the company started to make riskier investments, like offering unsecured loans, Mashinsky told people the opposite. He said everything was business as usual.
Celsius is very, very strict at who we lend to, right? So we only lend to the first tier institutions, first tier exchanges. We do not do all kind of unsecured lending like a lot of people are talking about or saying Celsius does unsecured. We do not do unsecured lending.
But of course, this wasn't true. Celsius internally had been talking about the number of unsecured loans they were giving out increasing, shown here in orange. And internally on Slack, executives were furious. Quote, I just told him that the number is increasing and the overall ratio of collateral with institutions is going down. Another
so it sounds like
responded, yes.
This is interesting. It sounds like it was actually mainly Mashinsky that sank this whole fucking company. I thought it was going to be like a collaborative, fraudulent effort, but it really looks like most people identified Mashinsky as the problem point. He was the one that was like overriding decisions and going buck wild on it. At least so far, I guess, with these 2 points. Thanks to the resub, Real Pine. Give sub dash. If anyone looked at the actual interest rate, they'd know that 8% is impossible when lending to credible firms. I'm not super familiar with that, but it does sound like outrageously high. Like unrealistically high, but I'm not knowledgeable enough. Maybe that was reasonable to think it was possible. Thanks for resub, Britannia. The bits girth. Oh wow, I'll have to check that out, Girth. Oh, that's weird, chat. I don't know why it's saying that. Why the fuck would a firm pay 8% interest when they can issue a bond at 3%? You're talking to the wrong guy about all that.
So why does he publish so dangerous statements? Everyone out there, if you have an unsecured loan, tell everyone that I'm a liar. But in the end, no one did call him a liar, even as he literally asked for it.
Here, I'm calling on anyone who received an unsecured loan, go on Twitter, make fun out of Alex Mashinsky. Say, hey, I took a loan, here's my loan number. You know, I took a loan from Celsius and I did not have to provide at least 200% collateral.
And through the next year, Mashinsky continued to boast about how safe Celsius was, even as the team began to engage in riskier behavior. In the same year, Celsius would recognize $800 million in losses from some of these investments. Mashinsky told the Financial Times in June 2021 this.
From a risk standpoint, we are probably one of the least risky businesses that regulators worldwide have ever seen.
How does that not immediately trip people's red flags? That would sound alarm bells for me if I was considering like investing or putting money into something and I heard someone say this, like the CEO. I'd be like, yep, no fucking shot. Any company worth its salt, any legitimate organization doesn't usually boast so proudly about things like that. Usually it's like action speaking louder than words. So you'd be able to find information on whether or not this company or whatever is trustworthy. You wouldn't need to get it from the horse's mouth here. Oh, we're actually considered one of the least risky businesses the regulators worldwide have ever seen, like in the history of the world. They've actually given us like 5,000 gold stars for how safe we are. Like, it's actually nuts. They can't stop praising how safe and legit we are. Regulators love us. True. Yeah. Thanks to the resubs, Sinka and Jazz Hole. The resub, Obama. The resub Rose. But it seems to be his whole MO. He would just go on to like podcasts, make public appearances or whatever, all just like, hey, we're super safe. Everyone knows we're super safe. We're not risky. This and that. Meanwhile, half the shit that they were preaching was literally just a lie, I guess. They used AI for his voice. Oh, man. Yeah, they were just a little too soon. You could say it was all deep faked. Will he go to jail? I don't know. I haven't finished the video yet. Coffee said there's a good chance he gets away with it. Thanks for resub, Kev.
Around the time he was saying this, Celsius was over $500 million underwater on their liabilities, as shown by the black line, which represents a net surplus. By the end of the year 2021, Celsius was over $1 billion that they did not have. Things were looking bad.
Wait a minute. I thought you said this was a fraud.
It is a fraud.
Maybe to you, Coffee. There's another way of looking at this.
What do you mean?
Well, imagine I'm defending Celsius as a lawyer.
You're a mixologist and a lawyer?
Hey, I could pass the bar if I wanted to. I already work at one. But anyways, what I would say if you were coming at my client is, look,
I feel like the CG's
all
improving.
This lying and losing money, standard fake it till you make it stuff. They could have become profitable eventually. Now, did they fail? Yes. But trying a business and failing, that's the American dream, Coffee.
Do you actually believe that, though?
Doesn't matter what I believe. If a single person on that jury was an entrepreneur, Alex would walk.
Well, either way, your hypothetical doesn't even matter. Mashitsky isn't even being criminally charged.
Wait, really? Well, I rest my case then.
Yeah, nice try. But it's not that simple. They're still suing him for some of the money. He's just not being criminally charged.
Thanks, Richard. War Pig and Bunny.
Guess. You don't think that's enough?
No, I don't think it's enough. I mean, it's a slap on the wrist. It's a financial speeding ticket for a guy who ruined so many people's lives.
But that's my point, Coffee. If you think it's so wrong, you gotta give me more than this.
But how? You said it yourself. They're just gonna claim incompetence. They faked it till they didn't make it.
Ah.
Isn't that... I could be wrong. Isn't that in and of itself a big no-no in the, like, as an actual mega corporation? You can't fake anything. That's like a crucial point. It has to be all above board and legitimate. Isn't that... Am I off my rocker? You can't just like fudge your information and lie. Not to like investors, which I mean technically the people were. You have to prove it at some point or people will find out. Well, right. Well, eventually what happened is, I mean, you know the story. They went bankrupt. Everyone lost their ass on it. Like that's, we know how it ends. But isn't that like criminal if it's openly faked? Like they were lying about the claims, right? They lied about the interest. They lied about the 80%, whatever. Like a lot of lies. Isn't that in and of itself already a legal problem? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about how the regulation would work on a company of this scale or anything, so couldn't tell you. But I feel like that the whole like incompetence because they were faking it till they made it doesn't really work. I feel like that would still be like a legal problem, but maybe not. I don't know.
That's because the evidence so far is lies and incompetence. You need to show a definitive step across that line. That's the only way people are going to believe you. Well, that and...
What?
Well, this might be ironic coming from me, but it wouldn't hurt to humanize the story a bit. Don't get stuck in the technical jargon. Nobody can follow that. Make me feel something.
As much as it pains me to say this, I think you might be right. Let me see what I can do.
What does that money mean to me? It means a lot, actually. I've been working since
well, yeah, I imagine. Yeah, it was a lot of money.
I was investing this my first couple of jobs out of college. Ultimately stopped us from buying a house because, I mean, it was half of our down payment was locked and, you know, I couldn't get it. So it was a big impact, actually.
KQ.
Honestly, that loss was a culmination of many years of work, to be quite frank. I saw it as my way to escape.
What that money means to me, it's a lot more freedom with what we're able to do as a family.
To describe what the money I lost meant to me is really hard because it's tied into a lot of what it feels like to be a grown-up or an adult. I feel like I have this stunted development. You know, I'm almost 40 at this point, and I'm very aware as a stuntman that wants to be physical. If we had a kid last year like we wanted, all right, maybe by the time he's 20, I could show him some stuff. But the longer we wait, the more I watch my dreams and my future and my hope to be like a proper functioning adult slip through my fingers. It's hard to describe what that's tied into, but it just feels like I can't proceed with life, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. And hearing these stories made me realize just showing lies isn't enough. If I'm going to demonstrate fraud, I need to get to the heart of Celsius. And that's when I found out about the flywheel. The flywheel was central to Celsius's plan to become profitable, and here's how it worked. Celsius was not just a crypto platform. They also had a crypto token called Cell, and they controlled the vast majority of it, up to 95%.
So, hold on, I want to take a quick guess here. I'm going to imagine this is a pretty close to FTX situation where it turns out that they were reinvesting, and I'll use the term very loosely, their Cell tokens. You mentioned that they had the lion's share. I imagine that instead of securing those loans or the investments or anything like that, they would instead take their Cell and put it elsewhere to try and generate money off that on the back end, is my guess.
If the price of Cell went up, theoretically, the balance sheet of Celsius would also go up, and they could sustain these insane reward rates. However, in order to do so, they needed people to actually want Cell token. So the flywheel was Mashinsky's plan to do that, to create a positive feedback loop. And the way they did this was set up Cell token like a rewards program, where you could earn bonus interest if you held a certain amount of Cell, which obviously incentivizes people who wanted to get the most out of their accounts to buy and hold these Cell tokens. On their website, they describe this process as a self-sustaining ecosystem where users would buy Cell, earn more yield, get more crypto, collect interest, earn more yield, lend more coins, collect more interest, and buy more Cell tokens. Now, of course, you might notice a problem here. What if people actually go to sell their Cell tokens? Wouldn't that crash the price? Well, Mashinsky had an answer for this too. He told the community that Celsius would buy Cell tokens in order to pay their rewards, theoretically creating demand out of thin air. Here's him explaining this.
Basically, more visitors usually translates to more app downloads, and that translates to more deposits. More deposit allows us to do more loans. More loans generate more income, and more income means more income that Celsius generates from these coins that people gave us, translates into us having to buy more Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cell token, and so on.
So, okay, that's the flywheel. Why does it matter? Well, the flywheel and this Cell token became the place where all sorts of shenanigans happened with Celsius, because while the community was aware that they were buying back Cell to pay rewards, what they didn't know was that Celsius was using customer funds to do so, to buy their own coins. What they imagined they were doing was that they were using all this profit they were theoretically generating from making these loans to buy their own token, but that wasn't the case. This was because, as we said earlier, Celsius wasn't really profitable at all. So the only money they had to buy Cell token was their own customers' money. But it gets even worse, because starting in 2020, Celsius decided to substantially expand its purchases of Cell for the purpose of increasing Cell's price. Instead of buying Cell when it needed to pay rewards, Celsius began timing its purchases so that they would prop up Cell's price by creating activity in the market. Now, of course, the question is here, why would Celsius go beyond its mandate to purchase more Cell than necessary and artificially boost the price? Well, perhaps it has something to do with the top holder of Celsius being Mashinsky and his executives. And this was the only way they could sell some of these tokens without crashing the price. According to the investigation, quote, between 2018 and June 2022, Mr. Mashinsky sold at least 25 million Cell tokens, realizing at least $68.7 million on these sales. Daniel Leon, also a founder of Celsius, sold at least 2.6 million in Cell.
Surely that's good for the good of the platform.
$9.74 million as well. That's a cash out of over $70 million, while Celsius was buying these sales to prevent the price from going down. Quote, Celsius often increased the size of its resting orders to buy all of the Cell that Mr. Mashinsky and his other companies were selling. The former chief financial officer would write, "We are talking about becoming a regulated entity, and we are doing something possibly illegal and definitely not compliant." Some employees, of course, were even more direct. Quote, "If anyone found out about our position and how much our founders took in USD, could be a very bad look. We are using users' USDC to pay for employees' worthless Cell." And even worse, in 2022, their coin deployment specialist described their practices of buying up Cell and using customer coins as very Ponzi-like.
That seems like a dagger. I was a little off on my prediction. It's even fucking stupider. Well, I guess not stupid because they made out with like 70 mil, but it's even shittier. Thanks to resub Sarah, Pickle, and Keen. Crypto laundering is like the new charity. Yeah, I guess. Thanks to Prime Money. Sucks for the investors. Well, yeah, it sucks for any normal person using the platform. Great for the people at the top, though, who are just literally selling worthless Cell using the customer funds. So they're selling this useless shit using customers' real money to purchase it in order to keep the price stable. So, yep. Thanks to Prime Admiral. No, not doing any Destiny rating tonight. Artificial demand to stabilize a coin USD conversion all while it crashed when it's found out. Yep. Pretty big brain, I guess. And they would have got away with it too. I guess. I actually don't know what the plan was. It seemed like this was always destined to completely collapse. Even if the majority of crypto didn't like have their big collapse recently, I feel like Celsius was destined 100% to die. Thanks for some ducks and Mike Wazowski. Thanks for some roasted. I just don't see how there was ever any potential argument to make that they were trying to become profitable. Because there's like no legitimate effort. This isn't a sustainable thing. This is like cash out for the top level people. This is make a lot of money off of garbage. And already a lot of their claims were blatant lies. Like I just don't even see what the actual full-blown scheme was. Well, I mean, I see what the scheme was. They made a lot of money. But like how there'd even be an argument that like, they were eventually going to be profitable. They just failed along the way due to incompetence or whatever.
And a few weeks later, when this person was asked where money was coming from to buy, sell, this person would say, users like always. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the core story. Not merely lying, it's a story of using customer funds to buy out your executives and manipulate your own cryptocurrency so you can sell for a higher price. In fact, Celsius's own purchases of their own tokens were such a large component of the market that overlaying the price of Celsius with the amount that Celsius was buying results in a near perfect match of the price change. And ultimately what this meant for the end user is that the money they thought were being used for safe loans or for generating yield were actually squandered on this flywheel mechanism. And the result was that Celsius just didn't have the money to pay customers back. And what's so wild about this is that Celsius didn't even need to buy their own Cell token in the first place. They already controlled 95% of all the Cell tokens in existence, so they could have just paid rewards from that instead of buying Cell in the open market. When asked why they did it this way, one executive responded that the answer lies in who holds the most Cell. In other words, buying Cell on the open market was what propped up the price, which benefited no one more than Alex Mashinsky, who executives would refer to as the biggest seller by far and depressing the market, selling up to $165,000 a day. As a result of all these actions, by the time Celsius would pause withdrawals, they had a shortfall of over $7 billion owed to customers, which after a crypto crash was more like $4 to $5 billion. Either way, hundreds of thousands of lives were ruined. And this, in my view, is where Celsius crossed the bright red line.
I feel like they've already done that.
An incompetent lender, they had created a scheme with Cell token where new users' funds had to be used to prop up Cell token value, which benefited their executives. It also created a need to use new customer funds to pay out old customers because of their impossibly high rates of rewards to fuel growth. According to the Examiner, this all meant that Celsius Network on a standalone basis has been insolvent since inception. This meant that new users always had to keep on coming in to keep Mashinsky's flywheel going. And when they stopped coming, it was doomed to collapse. This is the textbook definition of a Ponzi scheme, where new users' deposits are required to pay old users' withdrawals. And according to the Examiner, this actually happened explicitly multiple times. One example is from June 2022, when Celsius relied on $33.4 million of USDC of new customer deposits to fund withdrawals of old customers which Celsius couldn't afford. And this, unfortunately, is the
So
real
how do you
story
defend
of
it?
Celsius, a Ponzi scheme designed as a way to take on the banks and fight for the little guy. But hey, don't take it from me. I'm just a third party. Take it from the victims themselves. I asked them what they thought.
So this.
Thanks to the resub, Gavin, Blue, Cat, the Prime Frosty, and PC. The resub, Blue, Like, and Guppy. Oh, his Twitter's locked? Coward.
There needs to be an example set, or we're going to see more of these grifters in this space, like Sam Bankman-Fried and others who just take advantage of people who believe in the technology, who believe in innovation. And you're not supposed to steal people's money, just plain and simple. You know, it's called theft. It's a Ponzi scheme.
Just being stripped of all of your wealth like that, emotional, psychological torture. You ruined people's lives, Alex. You ruined their lives, man.
I've seen so many people who are retired. I've seen people who are disabled. I saw people who are basically in like different types of countries that their average salary might be $100 a month and they lost $1,000 and they don't even know how to feed their families. I've seen people who are literally on the verge of being homeless, if not homeless already. And you see this CEO who is gloating about this and taking money out. I think without a doubt, if like the justice system prevails, Alex should be in jail.
Well,
you'd think
our
so.
Story. I reached out to Alex Mashinsky about these allegations, and he declined to comment, except to say I should talk to a Celsius employee named to clear up the FUD. Now, I talked to this employee, but they declined to go on the record themselves, and when asked if anyone within Celsius wanted to speak with me, I was told nobody is willing to go on the record with you. So that's where we're going to leave that. And as for Celsius, the company, they're trying to reopen their doors. They have a new plan to basically distribute whatever's left back to the holders and lawyers. And I'm not going to go too much into the details of this plan, but if you're a creditor, you can visit this page to learn more. It's not a perfect plan by any means, but I'm not sure I have any better ideas of what to do with such a bad situation. So that's it for me for now. I hope the wait was worth it, guys, for this video. We're trying to level up the production behind the scenes. So if you enjoy all the in-depth investigations, please consider supporting us on Patreon. These videos are a lot of work to produce. But either way, I'll see you in the next one.
Good shit, Coffee. I was always wondering what happened to Celsius, because it was right around the time of Terra Luna. I think it was actually like 2 weeks, well, maybe a little more. Somewhere very close to the Terra Luna collapse was when the Celsius collapse happened. Yeah, this definitely just does seem like a textbook Ponzi scheme. Exhibits Girth. Yeah, I'll check it out. Crypto basically gambling. Some people hit big and most lose all their money. Yep, I mean, not wrong. This one was supposed to be less of a gamble because it was propped up as like, we're going head to head with the banks. We're gonna, you know, no one likes banks. You could trust us, but you can't trust banks, so come with us. Like how crypto gets shit, like people don't lose their life savings in the stock market all the time. Yeah, I don't see people like sucking the stock market's dick. It's not, I mean, it's kind of a weird whataboutism. It's just crypto scams can happen from like anyone. Like a literal nobody can start a crypto scam and make millions off of you. That doesn't really happen in the stock market. You're getting fucked by corporations. In the crypto space, literally anybody can. But the beauty of crypto scams is most of the time it's actual nothingness. At least when you're getting fucked in the stock market, you had something. You bought a piece of something. and you just got fucked. So you did have something. In crypto, you get literally nothing but worthless nonsense receipts. No. The dark truth behind making millions from online courses. I mean, pretty much everyone knows that online courses are a scam. But I'm interested.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. Fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. In fact, I'm a lot more...
Thanks for some Music Junkie and NetSaber.
On September the 3rd, 2015, Tai Lopez released his infamous Here in My Garage ad. And people kind of memed it. It was a joke.
Man, stop grasping me, dude. Here in my garage. Here in my garage.
Even though it blew up on YouTube, everybody was being filled with all of his advertisements on
Whoa.
Garage, here's my bookcase, what do I care most about?
What the fuck?
But what people don't realize is Tai Lopez paved the way for an invasion of what you can call internet online gurus. And if you've ever tried searching for...
There's no way that profitable, though. There's no way.
Entrepreneurship, self-development. At this point, they're in so many different niches I can't keep count, but you will probably be flooded with, at some point, an ad with them talking straight at you into a camera, telling you that sign up to my free training.
Free training that I'm giving you an invitation to. Sign up for the online training and join our completely free training where I'm registered to attend our free...
Whenever you hear that, just know that it's a scam. Like, I feel like everyone knows that.
And there's just so many of them. It's like a copy and paste. What you might not realize is that at first it seems a bit harmless, but some of these people are earning millions. Millions.
What?
And then when you really look into it and you realize a lot of these people have a cult-like following.
You're telling me Sam, what was his name? Sam Ovkin? I wasn't even close. Sam Ovens has a cult following? I don't believe that for even a fucking second. How to become a consultant. This fucking guy even paid for the Google Premium thing where you get like ad on top of everything. So real quick, I'll give another pro tip if anyone's prone to getting scammed. Whenever you see this, like if you see ad up here, never click on this. You can just pay for this, and a lot of times what'll happen is a scam company will pay for this to try and bait people into signing up to a fake service. That happens all the time, especially with RuneScape. So if you try and download something like RuneScape, the first 3 of these are going to have ad here, and all 3 of them are viruses. So, pretty counterintuitive already, Sam. Wait, let me see. So what does he do? Thanks to the Prime. Dunk and the resub Ice Skeleton and gives sub Booty Eater. He's a YouTuber. I help people start and grow wildly profitable consulting businesses. Got started when I was 21 years old, completely broke, living and working out of my parents' garage trying to start a business. It's incredible how all of these gurus have the exact same origin story. It's wild. What a coincidence. I wondered, surely there's a way to get clients to come to us instead of chasing them, and then one day I figured it out. Over the next 4 years I made $10 million. Okay. There's the resub Dionysus and Sopain. I can't really see what he does though. Like, what the fuck does he do? What? All it says is millionaire consultant. Like, does he just talk to millionaires and ask for money? Like I don't really know what this means. Surely millionaires don't come to Sam to learn anything. Thanks for the 10 gift subs, Toothache. I really appreciate that. This is so wildly... It is so hard to figure out what this guy does. Like, what his actual business is. His flagship consulting accelerator training has produced 25 millionaires, nearly 500 six-figure earners, and allowed over 3,000 people to quit their jobs and work full-time as consultants. That doesn't really fucking tell me anything. Like, this is wild. Jesus Christ! And you're telling me Sam Ovens has a cult following? I don't believe this for even a second. He had to have been born rich. How does okay. He quite literally just sells courses. That is his whole business. Here. I found it. It is literally only selling courses. So in 42 days, I can start my own profitable business and get my first customer. With the consulting accelerator. Fucking crazy. Thanks to Prime, Charlie Osu and Solaire in the resub.
People have a cult-like
Spinonymous, Commander, Mustardly, and the gift sub Lillers. Your friend was... My brother was friends with Ty Lopez a few years ago, and when he wanted to expose him, Ty sued him for defamation.
Is Dan Locke a cult?
Yeah, that sounds about
yes
right.
Or no? Is High Ticket Closer a cult? Yes or no?
Yes. And then you realize
that was honest.
They're not really trying to teach you anything. You see, the main goal is to keep you hooked on their products, to reprogram your mind to think that you need the next thing and the next thing that they release and the next thing after that, all while smiling and happily taking out your credit card and swiping it, whilst giving them millions and making you poorer or in more debt.
But smarter, because of knowledge.
So, do you want to learn how to replicate it all?
Thank you to Tier 1 Deadliest Beef from the Prime Kai. I think we've seen that one, Swag. I'll check it out in a minute, though.
This is whatever you're going to talk about, and honestly, I don't really care. It can be anything. It can be preferably a fad, something like cryptocurrency.
Let's talk about Bitcoin.
It's dropshipping.
The beauty about dropshipping is that you don't need to carry any inventory.
Or Amazon FBA.
Quick and easy steps to start selling on Amazon FBA right away.
Or it's consulting.
I started my consulting business from scratch and then grew it to the point right now where I'm making more than $20 million per year with it.
Or real estate.
Are you looking to invest in property? Or maybe not even invest in property, but escape your job and have more time?
You know, one thing I've never seen is a successful man who ever paid for one of these courses.
Probably it's something to do
Never.
with wealth or health.
Not a single one.
Relationships. Something that you can really target people's insecurities and their dreams.
You can actually earn a living without working a job.
And I've helped more than 3,000 people from all around the world quit their jobs.
And I'm going to show you step by step how my students are earning 6 and even 7 figures working from their laptops from home.
Yeah, but you never hear anyone say that. Like, I've never heard a millionaire, when asked the question, how did he become successful? Oh yeah, I bought Sam Ovens' training consulting accelerator.
If you really don't know what you're talking
really
about,
blew me up.
Hire an expert, get them to write a script, and you can read it out to a video camera.
They approached MJ and they were like, hey, can you make part of our course for us? Because
thank you for that.
I to be clear, I don't know why, but my guess is they don't know what they're doing on Amazon.
Preferably you have a little bit of experience so you can give some general knowledge out there that can probably be found in a book, or if you Google searched it. Again, guys, it doesn't matter about what is in the course. That's not what's important here. What's important is how you market it.
It seems like you don't have to try that hard to market it. You just say the same dog shit that everyone else says.
This is the stage.
You just copy their script.
Bottom tier gurus from the guys who are actually making the big money. You see, it's all about marketing in this industry. And if you can't market your course properly, then you're not going to make as much.
Did you buy the course? No.
You want to start
I should,
by running
though.
some YouTube ads, some Facebook ads, Instagram ads, like wherever the hell you can find people who are young enough and probably in a vulnerable position to where they want to buy into wherever the hell you're selling them, which leads us on to the next point. Sell a dream.
You can make enough money to be financially free.
You could be generating profit in a matter of just hours, if not just a few days.
Earning 6.
Wow, that quick, huh?
Are earning 6 and even 7 figures working from their laptops from home.
That I've got.
Like, how does anyone? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. How does anyone see this and be like, yeah, that's probably legit? This is no different than the sexy singles waiting to fuck you in your area. I really thought these were just dead on arrival things. I had no idea they were an actual successful business. That is mind-boggling to me. Thanks to Resub Aspen and Scumnut. We give sub again, Byth.
Working from their laptops from home.
That I've got financial freedom.
When I say the word financial freedom,
Focused on you in this webinar.
So I'm basically just dating them.
Turn off the social media to tell your family, leave me alone.
Close down Facebook, turn off Netflix, turn off Instagram, hide your phone if you need to for the next 60 minutes, because this exact training has changed literally thousands of lives, and it can do the same for you.
This sounds awful.
No,
it's a parasocial relationship. It's not even training.
James, I don't have any information to
Damn
tell
it.
them. What do I teach these people?
I'm not learning.
Come on. We're not trying to teach
I'm just in love.
anything in these webinars. The goal of the webinar is to make them ask even more questions, and the goal after that, and the main goal, is to get them to buy your course. Got it? Now you want to tell them your backstory, your sob story. Tell them that you're just like them and you were poor and there wasn't anything special about you.
I never got very good grades at all. In fact, I was below average. And pretty much the only thing I was good at was hanging out with my friends and drinking beers.
Growing up, I was a loner all the way through high school, and I got beat up quite a few times.
Tell them how you hated your job.
Like the Prime Bluey and the Resub Jani.
The rat race.
I would literally drive an hour to work each day.
I was working as an accountant, working 80 hours a week, depressed, anxious.
It just felt like a jail cell. I felt my life literally being sucked out of me minute by minute.
What you need to do is you need to sound like you're in the position that they're in at that current point in time. And if you've done your YouTube ads right, then you've probably attracted the most vulnerable of these people.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
I didn't sleep for months on end, up all night stressed.
People who are broke and people who really want money or are young and naive enough to feel like the course can get them to that point, those are our ideal targets.
Am I going to be
this has to be illegal in some way?
I don't know. Family, or am I going to finally step out? I felt it. I knew there was more. Like, there's more. Sometimes you just don't have the path and the plan.
It's also important to note that you want to rewire their mentality and their mindset. Tell them that money is abundant.
Money never goes away.
Even when I was a kid, though, I wouldn't have fallen for this shit. How does it happen?
How to generate the money, not save it. It's not going away.
I guess you just have to be like really gullible.
Tell them that there's so much money out there, guys, so that when it comes to the point where you give them the price of your course, in their
are their
heads,
past stories true? No, of course not. What the fuck?
Already overcome when they're like, But oh, he told me that money is abundant. Doesn't matter if I finance this with £2,000 money I don't have, because money's everywhere, man. Just like he said. But here's the thing. You want to tell them that they have to put in the work, right? You want to tell them that they need to be responsible for what they do.
I'm only looking for
I don't remember if we've seen that, Hearts.
Dedicated to this, who are going to be focused on this. This is for people.
I don't know if we've seen that or not.
This is for real people who are willing to put in real work.
And you need to take action. If you're still with me today, you're an action taker.
Anyone, anywhere, from any country on earth can earn a full-time living on Amazon if they're willing to put in the work. Listen, if
they can't even use a microphone, they're using a fucking Mac built-in mic.
They're lying to you, right? Because it is not.
Can't you get like a Blue Yeti?
That's why most people, when they reach the age of retirement, right, they can't retire. Most people, you know, are gonna find themselves,
because when they buy your course and it doesn't work for them, you want to make sure that they're not blaming you, that they're telling themselves, you know what, it's my fault that this didn't work. Now, you want to go in for the hard sell.
Thanks for some pure awesome. This is a Sigma male grind set for sure. Hey, what's up, babe? I bought Sam Oven's training course.
On your course, say,
so we fucking at my place or yours? What's up?
100 grand in his first month of doing it.
So it took him 1 year to get to 6 figures.
$4,000 from 2 clients.
over $1,500 in one single day.
$7,800 in the span of about a week.
Make it sound easy. Easy, easy, easy.
You don't have to have any experience to get started. You don't have to have any tech skills or buy any software. You don't need your own product.
You never.
Well, what do you need? Like, what do you do? Just sit there and hope that someone buys air? Like, you don't need any of that?
Experts. You don't need to take the risk of failing. You don't need to hire employees.
Oh, God.
No matter your.
Okay, hold on. Wait, I want to see this whole list. So, what is the position here? So, you don't need to even be alive, it sounds like. You don't have to have your own product or create one, okay? What do you do? You don't have to do sales. You don't have to have an audience. So who's buying this? Like, how can you read this list and be like, huh? So I do nothing. So then what happens? I buy this course and I get told I don't have to do anything, and then what? This is crazy. I've never seen the courses. I only ever see the ads and just write it off immediately. But seeing this, it's even crazier that anyone would believe this for even a second. This is literally the old fucking meme of like, step 1, question mark, step 2, profit.
You don't need to hire employees. No matter your age, no matter where you live, no matter your circumstances, can create a full-time income.
There's zero money needed. You don't have to wait for a closing. It all happens in about 10 or 14 days.
And it's copy and paste them into your listing and your PPC campaigns, and it's easy as that.
But it's not a
get rich Darian and Goose.
Make sure you don't
and Evil and Shroom and Anthony.
Say everything.
Tornado Alley, I think so.
Listen, if anybody ever told you it was easy to get rich, it's literally as simple as buying products for $1 and selling them on Amazon.com. They're selling you something and they're lying to you, right? Start earning passive income from Amazon, sometimes even 30 days or less, because it is not easy to get rich. And that's why most people, when they reach the age of retirement, right, they can't retire. I'm lazy. I don't want to work hard and I want to make a lot of money. So, if you're like me and you're lazy and you don't want to work very hard, but you want to make a lot of money, then this opportunity is going to be perfect for you, right?
But hold on. Some of these people still have a bit of a rational part in their brain, which we don't want. Some of them are probably thinking, it seems a bit too expensive to buy a £2,500 course. I don't really think I can afford that. So here's what you want to do. You want to create scarcity.
So if you want to get these additional bonuses, you need to join now. And if you're going to think about it, you're going to miss out on this.
These bonuses.
Who's this goofball? I only looked up Sam Ovens, but this guy's got my full attention. He looks like he wasn't meant to be in this line of work, like he was just an extra looking for work. So he's like the stunt double for the real John Crestani. Like, his heart doesn't seem in it at all. Let's see. John Crestani is a growth hacker. Known for, oh my god, that's his actual title he calls himself. Known for his contributions in helping companies reach more people and sell more products using the business model of affiliate marketing. He's an online expert in all forms of paid advertising from Facebook ads, Google, YouTube, and native advertising networks. He's also a YouTuber. A rather popular one, almost 500,000 subs. Let's see. And see what kind of growth hacks we've got here. His beard is much thicker in these pictures, so I'm assuming that's the growth he's referring to. There's a Join John tab, About. It's all so fucking vague. Your job as an affiliate marketer is to do better job of selling the product than the merchant itself. Thanks, John. That's the entire About section. Incredible. Well, I know all I need to know now about John, I guess. Thanks to the resub Hoopsnake, Sir Eric Valentine, and the Prime Yanko. Is there anything else? There's almost no words on here. I guess he's like catering to those that are illiterate, that accidentally buy his course. Like, there is absolutely no words on this whole fucking site. It's just pictures of John. And the Join John button. There's a press tab. The future of self-employment.
And now, San Diego Connect.
You know, 1 out of 4 millennials say they want to own their own business someday. But
idiots.
In that regard,
not in John's world.
Entrepreneur gets started in this day and age. John Crestani is an internet commerce expert. And John, what trends are you seeing now?
Sure. So an interesting trend I'm seeing is more and more millennials are reporting on their taxes as self-employed every single year. And
Knox and
also
Yoshi.
what's interesting is on the other side of the spectrum, you have more older folks, 60 and up, reporting self-employed and starting their own online businesses simply because there aren't jobs available.
So old folks can learn these new tricks with
Yes,
that. That's
sir.
very encouraging to say. Tell us more about your background and your success in this space.
So I started off in college. I was running a little tutoring business, and I want to get some extra beer money, so I set up a website and I put out some ads. I kind of taught myself to get more customers, and that turned into working for an ad agency out of college and doing pretty well, so that some of the business owners said,
he is wearing a leather jacket, so he means business.
You know it, I had my own business.
He sure does, and if you Google John Crestani, you'll see what he's talking about. Now,
no, that's how I ended up here. I Googled John Crestani, and I saw nothing that made any sense, which is how I landed on this unlisted video on a most likely fake news segment he made. I quite literally can't find anything about what he does. It is like genuinely impossible to understand anything that John Crestani is doing. All he says is he's creating affiliate marketers and that it's your job to make money. Like what do you mean? I'm not learning anything. I'm just being confused. All right, let's finish this off.
If you're going to think about it, you're going to miss out on this.
These bonuses are only available for a very limited time and are only available for the people who are really ready to invest into their future.
He is a growth
Because
hacker, I
once these
suppose.
bonuses are gone, guys. They're gone forever.
For people on this webinar today only, I'm going to do it for $1,999.
You can tell them it's okay to finance it with their credit cards or whatever the hell.
The money. If the money is the biggest hurtle, but if you have the desire, if you have the time,
Oh,
if you have
God.
the willingness,
Oh,
we have an
God, don't
option
do it.
for you. You can
No.
actually use PayPal credit and
John!
get started.
Go into debt for John,
Little to no money
or you'll
down.
never be successful.
Essentially free today.
That's rather evil, John. Thanks to resub Cheese Wheel, and Muffins, and Gray, the Prime Czar.
Now you can sit back and watch that sweet, sweet profit fly in.
When I say the word financial freedom, what picture comes to mind? Right, a beach. You're sitting on the what is it? What's it called?
Oh wow! Look at all the money.
That's right. And then you're drinking your what?
All this money, it's right there.
Why stop there?
You didn't really think we were just going to be selling courses, right?
Oh, there's
Remember,
more?
our goal is to get them hooked on our products. You want to create your ladder. It's not just about the course. The course is the first step. The next step is selling them the mastermind program, which is like £200 a month. The next one after that is selling them to your live event, which is £300.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy,
and then sell them on the even bigger course and better course, which is £5,000. You practically have an army with you. These guys have watched you religiously.
People think, oh, it's only a course. It's only $2,000. First of all, a lot of people don't have $2,000. I'm sorry to say, I mean that gives me zero pleasure. This is why I do the show.
That's right.
$26,000. Listening, everyone at home. Are you?
Doesn't feel special.
Well, then you didn't work hard enough, idiot.
Feel like a celebrity.
John would never lie to you.
Actually achieving something.
Should have done
Tell them
46,000.
suits if you have
Then
to.
you'd be a millionaire.
Tell them they're all doing well and you're all going to be successful. And remember, trust your guru.
Yeah, we got absorbed into the program, but yeah.
Oh, God. Holy shit.
You don't tell them the truth. Right. I mean,
oh my
we're selling
God.
shovels in the gold rush. We don't tell them that the reason we're so damn rich and living the life that they want to live is because we've sold them a dream and sold them our courses that aren't really going to get them there.
He found a consistent source of income of thousands of dollars every month. And all he had to do was sell more access to himself.
But I guess you're
crazy.
sitting there in your mansion, sipping your champagne and wondering, man, I wonder how none of these people have said anything yet.
Because they still believe it.
Well,
it's
the thing.
denial.
You see,
I know that.
Remember correctly, we told them that they are responsible for their own actions. So each course that they buy and each failure that they get, they are the ones that feel like they're completely responsible.
A lot of people can be like, dude, well, that's your fault for quitting your job. But hey, I'm one of hundreds, if not thousands of people in that program who did the same thing. Everyone I knew quit their jobs. I guess part of me was ashamed, just like everybody else.
A lot of people are ashamed. That's why a lot of people don't come forward. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There are people watching right now who aren't going to come forward. It's an orchestrated thing. He uses your psychology against you.
I mean, some of
But
these
not
guys
not really. Like, he's so
situations
basic.
that
I just don't get
they
it.
have to believe
It
gonna
blows
work.
me away.
Otherwise, the alternative is far worse.
One of these guys I knew that was struggling, he handed his credit card over to Dan Mock's lackeys, and he said, I'm praying that this goes through. And it didn't. It got declined. And he just melted on the floor. He was crying.
What?
And then another guy was like, I got declined too. He's like, man, if I could sell my soul right now, I would. I'm looking at him like, you're joking. He's like, I would.
Sure, somebody.
Holy fuck.
They've fallen out with their friends because, after all, you told them to kick out the negative people, and their family.
Thanks for some cheese, Jeebus, Afterglow, and Round Spice, and Blano. And yeah, I saw that Amarok.
Right, you can sit back, enjoy it, and watch your webinar and your courses all sell themselves.
I just can't even imagine people like that exist. I really can't. It is unfathomable.
The thing is, I don't really have anything against online courses. I think online courses are amazing.
There's a tier 1 Pogo, 3 sub mouse, Prime Calm.
They taught me a lot about marketing, they taught me about personal finance. But the kind of courses that I'm talking about, they're not thousands of pounds. Most of them I got on Udemy and they're like 10 quid here and there. About probably in total I spent £200 on online courses. They're not.
It's super different though. Like when you're taking an online course for something like editing, you know exactly what you're getting into. They are going to teach you how to edit. Like you are absolutely getting what you want when you're taking like a course from editors. But when you're taking a course from just a dude who says that he can make you millions, you're gambling a lot more on this guy somehow giving you tools to make millions of dollars. Like it can't even be talked about in the same sentence. Like there are courses that are good, but none of them are like get rich courses. Like success courses, there's not a single one that'll actually make you better or make you more successful. There is literally not a single one that I can think of that will ever get you in a position to be more successful in life. But if you're taking a course for like a focused thing, editing, even sports, you know, there's so much for that.
They're not trying to tell me.
Fucking wild that people conflate those two. He's not. I'm not saying he is. I saw it in the chat.
I think a lot of these.
Just a little heads up. I know he's
aside
not.
From all of the moral standpoints, it's more about the fact that they're really cheapening what an online course is and how good online education can be. So the next time you kind of come across these gurus or someone that sells.
Thanks to the 5 gift subs, Sline. And the resub Ryan and Ochi.
Whether the value that they give you in that course is worth the money, because the chances are you can find any of this information in a book or just doing your own YouTube searching, which is probably where they got the information from anyway. What's important to always look out for is what they're telling me the method in which they got rich themselves. And with most of these people selling the online course,
thanks to the 5 gift subs, Apathy.
Once you spot the signs that you're listening to or you've bought into the product of an online fake guru, just run. It's really not worth it. And I mean it when I say that most of them are just trying to get you addicted to their products. Because after all, you are just a number in their funnel to them, and ultimately you're just a number in their bank account to them. You're going to see more and more of these online gurus. I think, personally, a lot of them aren't going to last. I think...
I'm surprised they're still around.
Get extremely unethical, or they're going to be caught out in some sense, or there's going to be some kind of regulation. But for your own sake, just don't get into them in the first place.
Thanks to the Prime. Eslinroll and the resub Wayne and Gandalf.
The end of this video. My name is James Jani. If you liked what you saw, please do hit the like button. It helps so much.
That was a really well put together video. I hadn't heard of half of those gurus.
Like this, I've got a lot of exciting stuff planned. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Check out my last video as well. I did it.
I hope he sells a course at the end. These are all scams, but mine's real.
That's an awesome video, especially
if fucking great.
And you're curious as to whether you should go. Comment down below if you have made it to the end here. I'll respond to all of it, I promise. And it means a lot that you have watched up until this point.
That was a great video, actually. The only major gurus I knew were Ty Lopez and the Paul brothers. The Paul brothers, I don't know if they still do, but they used to do online seminars just like that. Genuine, full throttle, dog shit, awful courses. And I actually watched one, because obviously being the Paul brothers, people just put out the entire course. So I watched some of it. And I just assumed everyone would know that all of that shit is fake, but I guess not. Actually fucking wild. Look up, say this to make her sleep with you tonight. Okay. Like a little cheat code, huh?
You guys have been on a few dates and you're really starting to connect. But every time you try to escalate,
I did not expect
she
that.
resists and pushes you away. What the hell is going on? What I'm about to tell you is pure gold. And if you say these few simple sentences,
is this satire?
Drop her inhibitions, start thinking about sex, and even frame you as a sex expert. What's up, guys?
This is Nutmeg and the resub Send and Bubbles.
This is how to get her to sleep with you fast. I'm Matt.
Many boot camps encourage men to be assertive.
My name is Josiah.
Josiah is a master at day game.
Loved it.
4, 6, 7.
We've done all the testing. We know what works.
What?
First, I want to warn you, this isn't a way to trick girls into bed, and that all sex should be consensual and a mutually gratifying experience for everyone. But here's the deal. Most girls have what I'd like to call an anti-slut defense. Number one, they don't want their friends to judge them. Number two, they don't want you to judge them.
And whatever.
Number three, they don't want to feel judged or a slut themselves. Matter of fact, she thinks that it's better to give you blue balls than to give it up in some cases. See, even the term give it up insinuates that she's losing something by having sex with you. Man, society really screwed things up for us. If you show her that it's okay to be sexual around you,
rough.
she'll feel more comfortable moving the relationship forward.
Thanks, resub Jilly.
Okay, let's check out this live demonstration. The first thing you're going to want to do is start off by bringing up a sexual topic. I usually do this by accusing her of being a naughty girl. You can do that by telling her to stop looking at you.
Oh, fuck, I'm getting wet. Uh-oh. It's too powerful.
Stop drinking her drink that way because she's a naughty girl. It doesn't actually matter. You can accuse her of just about anything.
Very bad posture, though.
You have to stop looking at me like that.
Like what?
Like a naughty girl. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I know all girls have a naughty girl side.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go into basically a sexual facts section where I start talking about a woman's body and anatomy versus
Jesus
a guy's
Christ.
anatomy and how the nerves and
Things that we
how
said dreams of
pleasure
adventure
actually
and the
works for
bits
man and
finesse.
woman. What this does is it creates basically a frame that you're very
His
knowledgeable
sister?
about sex and you have an idea.
If it works on his sister, it can work on anyone.
What you're doing. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Women are way more sexual than men. I mean, you have a part of your body that's only this big that has 8,000 nerves on it, and it's only...
Hey, thanks for the anatomy lesson, Professor.
While a man, we have like 4,000 nerves, like half that, over a much larger area, and ours does way more than just have sex.
And it is a large area, by the
You
way.
can have up to like 8 to 10 orgasms a night, where a man, can only have like 3 or 4. On
5,
it,
if you're
women
me.
can have up to 4 different types of orgasms.
Jesus Christ.
So after you list some sexual facts, you're going to grab her hand and give her an example of 4 different types of orgasms that a girl can have. There's a lot of things
what?
that's happening inside this. It's not just about showing her you're knowledgeable. It's about actually touching her. And when you create a visual and a physical anchor, so she believes that her hand is in the
This has to be joke advice.
Of her vagina. When you actually rub it and play with it, she's going to get the same imagery
Tier
in her
1
head,
Astiago.
visualization in her head as if you were actually touching her down there. So it's really good to know how to rub it and know how you're going to turn a girl on to start with. Like, don't go in there and just straight finger blast her and that type of shit, because that just never works.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see your hand.
Are you sure?
He starts like doing like a secret handshake with it.
You have the clit.
Is this working for you?
Where 8,000 nerves are. And then you have inside and up in your G-spot. And then you have all the way in.
Oh.
You have the deep spot.
Whoa.
And if you go in and down, you have the A spot.
And then I spit on it.
It's just unfortunate that
Then I start
society
peeing a little
judges you
bit.
so much for being so sexual. I mean, like, if I was asleep with like 100 girls, my friends would call me a rock star and think of the man. But if people found out that you slept with like 100 men, they might call you a slut or a whore.
I wouldn't say
It's
that.
so unfair how society judges you.
I, 8,000 nerves, and I'm about to stimulate all of them. You know what I mean?
It basically just frames that you're non-judgmental about her having sex. And it doesn't frame it with an outright, like, hey, I'm not going to judge you if you sleep with me. It makes you sound more authentic about, like, society being fucked up. And it's really not fair that...
There's no way this guy's ever used this in the real world, ever.
...from actually getting fucked. There you have it. An awesome technique that gives her permission to be sexual, explore her sexuality with you, and all while being judgment-free. One time, my Uncle Ben told me...
With great power comes great responsibility.
And by being responsible,
Fry.
I mean you're responsible for her in bed. Don't mislead her.
Rough goose.
If you're a two-pump chump, then you should watch our other videos on YouTube and subscribe to our academy so you know exactly what to do in bed. By the way,
I might have to do that.
Routine is
Let's
just
check it out.
one way to escalate the interaction and get her to start thinking about sex. We created a free escalation cheat sheet with our best ways to create sexual tension, turn her on, and escalate in the bedroom. It's filled with advanced escalation techniques that
Such
are
as
helping
calling
turn
her a
platonic,
naughty girl,
friendly interactions into a more
then having her make a fist that you stick your finger in.
This is super useful when you're talking to a
it's
girl
not-
and it's going nowhere.
not that good.
Click on the image in the bottom right of this video to download the free escalation worksheet or check the description below. Get it.
There's no way anyone thought this was good advice ever. What the fuck? No one in the comments agreed with the video, so how is it like overwhelmingly positive? Is it like, I can't tell if it's satire or not.
Here's the truth, man.
It feels like it has to be. But I don't know. What's the most popular video? It's probably that one. It's not. What to do when a girl looks at you. Come right away.
Have you ever had an attractive girl look at you and you didn't know what to do? If you respond the wrong way or even too late, your chances to seal the deal could slip away. The first glance can already create tension, and it sets the tone before you even start talking to her. So in this video, I'm going to help you capitalize on that crucial moment. My name's Matt Artisan from The Attractive Man, and this is what to do if a girl looks at you. I'm Matt.
He has mastered the art of seduction.
Many boot camps feel a little bit off guard when a hot girl looks at them from afar, especially if they haven't.
What a huge mistake they make if they look at you, huh, Matt? This is gonna be rough.
A lot of dating coaches out there recommend that you act all mysterious and aloof, like sulking in the corner of a bar somewhere, as if you expect women to come talk to you. That does not work very well. In fact, most women will find you creepy and will stay away from you. Seriously, man, don't give off that serial killer vibe. If she looks at you and you wait too long, it can seriously kill the mood, and it can make you seem like you're too afraid to even talk to her. And please, don't do the infamous sending her a drink from the bartender. Hey, this is from that guy over there. But I really don't recommend doing that, at least not on the initial approach.
This drink is from the gentleman over there.
Now, most of the time when a girl looks at you, that means she's interested in you. So that's a great start. All you need to do is capitalize on the situation. First, make sure to look back. Women love a man of action. Alpha males are what attract women the most, so take charge and control. Women don't usually make the first move. Men do. She's looking at you to make sure that you get the message. When you've caught her looking at you, look back without hesitation. Now, if she looks away before you get the chance to make eye contact, keep looking for just a few seconds to catch her attention. It's important that she knows that you noticed her. The beauty is that looking back can create sexual tension.
Can we flex too? Like strike some of these?
Make sure you maintain dominance when you're looking back.
Maybe a lat flex?
Meek and stare at the floor. If she stares back, keep looking at her as if you're enjoying each other and enjoying the moment, even before you get near. Now that you've caught her attention, make sure you smile at her. Simply looking at someone smile literally brightens up your day. A chin-up, confident smile is the way to go. It actually gives her comfort and shows her that you're a fun guy to be with. When you're looking back at
it's just a normal reaction. What do you mean?
Give her the best smile you have. One that says, hey, let's have some fun. You can also look away and smile for a moment, then look back at her. This brings a certain allure and mystery, while at the same time acknowledging that you're going to approach her and would like to know her better. Here are also some things you should not do. Avoid a creepy nodding smile or cheesy smirk. And please, don't frown thinking it's cool to feel entitled. Women hate that. Don't try too much to force the smile either. Just relax. Make sure it comes natural, as if you appreciate her looking at you and you're enjoying every moment. Whatever you do, don't do this. A good way to know your perfect smile is to practice every day in the mirror. Go ahead, it actually helps. Next, I want to talk about establishing eye contact. Confidence dictates control. When you look at a woman, always maintain eye contact, even before the conversation starts. Check her reaction. The moment you look back and she notices, lock eyes immediately. Keep at it if she's doing the same. It's actually a very enjoyable stare down, especially after you've thrown the perfect smile at her. If she looks back quickly, that usually means one of three things. She got creeped out, or she's the shy type, or she's playing hard to get.
Yeah.
Play hard to get all the time. So whatever you do, don't give up yet. If you think she's the shy type, then give her enough time to adjust.
Throw your drink on her, and then offer to buy her a new dress
or you might lose
and an iPhone.
I actually have a whole video on how to deal with shy girls, and I'll go ahead and put that link down in the description. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and do that right now. Hit that subscribe button. Now, if you think she's playing hard to get, then by all means, keep the confidence up and take control. And remember to focus on her eyes. It can be a total turn.
God, that felt like so much longer than 4 minutes. I think their best advice is calling a girl a naughty girl and then give her like an anatomy lesson about her clitoris while you're on your like first conversation with her. I think that's probably the best advice they have to offer.
And you have way more than just
where is it?
Touching part with.
I also really like this. Give me your hand and make a fist so I stick my finger in it.
First, you have the clit. Where 8,000 nerves are.
I think this is pretty much the best advice you can ever give someone for getting laid.
And up in your G spot. And then you have all the way in.
Yeah.
You have the deep spot. And if you go in and down, you have the A spot.
See, like, that's good advice. Like, if you just talk to a girl and you get her to make a fist, it's game over. Like, even, like, maybe even making her mad so she, like, throws a punch at you and you catch it, and then you give her the lesson, A spot, D spot, deep spot, bang. You're in. Like, all you need is a woman's fist, and it seems like you've got it. Like, you're in. That's fucking game over. You're getting laid. Thanks to the resub Jaffrodo and Teebs. There's some pretty wild stuff, Locks. What else we got here? Say this to make women chase you. Oh my god, he's out in public.
Real quick. Hi.
What's up, man? Matt Artisan here from theattractiveman.com. Coming in.
Cut off before the police get there.
You gotta come out here sometime. The women are gorgeous. So I'm making this video for all you single men who want to get more dates and get women to chase you.
Yeah.
Because I see this all the time on our workshops, on our boot camps, all over the world. Guys are trying to chase the woman at first, and they're trying to impress her. They're trying to say all these stories.
Is he in like a small pool that's got like some waves going? Why is he bouncing so much?
Dating gurus
it's like bobbing.
To do that, and it's dead wrong.
And his shirt's on inside out.
It's you trying to chase the girl.
He's got like little flaps on his shirt. His shirt is absolutely on inside out. Is that a style? Is that how you get laid?
And what happens is she runs away from you. It's like a cat, right? You try to pet the cat and you want the cat to come here. Oftentimes it runs away. But when you push the cat away, you're like, go away, kitty.
He's getting head.
So I'm going to give you exactly.
There's two girls taking turns sucking his dick right now. You just can't see it. That's why his shirt's on inside out.
And really just how to
just
keep
threw it on
that
quick.
Conversation going in an attractive way that makes her want you.
So first, let's talk about the mindset. The mindset is crucial. You have to see yourself as the prize, as a 10. No woman wants to date a guy who is beneath her, who is lower value. Okay? So how do you do that? How do you just see yourself as the prize? Well, I wish I could just say like a magic spell or a magic line, and all of a sudden you thought of yourself as a 10, as, you know, a freaking rock star. Well, first of all, I'm telling you right now, you are a rock star. You are a badass.
Oh,
start believing it.
Right.
Start telling yourself
Fuck
that
yeah.
every single
Let's go.
day. If you tell yourself that every day, that women love you, that women are attracted to you, that you're a 10, that you're a badass, that you're the prize, eventually you'll start believing it. Lie to yourself enough, and eventually you'll believe the lie. Don't lie to other people, but lie to yourself. Eventually, it'll become an unconscious belief. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, depending on what your beliefs already are. So that's the inner game, right? You got to change that. And of course, there's tons of other techniques
I will check out Piper
when it
Date.
comes to inner game, right? That's just one, which
That's
is
great to hear,
self-talk.
Ramon.
And on our boot camps, we go through all these other more intense, interactive.
Let me see this in action.
Or statement, say something. What I say usually.
Oh wait, I
about
missed the most
thing,
crucial
thinking.
part.
Let's model the behavior of a guy that's really, really good with women. Men who women just find irresistible because they do certain things. There's certain attributes that they do that women find irresistible. One of them is that they're a challenge. They act like the prize. We talked about seeing yourself as the prize. Now you gotta act like the prize. How do you do that? You
Stiff arm.
You qualify her. You show her that, hey, you know, your looks got my foot in the door, but what else? Impress me. Get her.
Challenge her. Okay,
So
okay.
you use a qualification question.
What
or
qualifications do you have to earn my meat, madame?
What I say usually, something to the
Pardon me,
effect of,
Harpy.
Well, listen.
Why should thou get my
really
wiener?
busy, or who I hang out with. So tell me one cool thing about you. Like, what are you passionate about? What are you all about?
Eliza.
Eliza?
Yes.
Matt.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I have to get going. I have to meet my friend. But tell me one thing interesting about you. I don't know anything about you. Shut up.
No, that's how you fucking do it. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, so I gotta go. Can you tell me a fun fact or some shit? Like, what's up with that?
Let her answer. Okay, so that's a broad question. That's like an open-ended question, which is really good because for me, because I'm a girl that has a passion. I've dated women who didn't really have any hobbies or passions and things like that. And then guess what? I became the hobby and passion. And
Nice.
Too much pressure.
Oh.
It's too needy.
No good.
I don't like needy behavior either in a woman. It's not attractive. Okay, so I usually ask that question.
There's the prime.
You can also ask a question that's more specific. In fact, I want you to, as an exercise, write down qualities that you're looking for in a girl. The non-physical attributes or what values do you want? Make a list
tier 1
5
Greg?
to 10 that are non-negotiables. And then you can go out and screen women for those qualities to see if they have them or not. For example, I had a student, a French guy, who wanted a girl that could cook. So he would ask her, he would say, listen, I really like a girl that can cook. So can you cook? And if they said no, I told them to say, oh, that's it. It's not gonna work out between us. And actually start walking away. And you could see, I was filming him, and you could see the girl's just like, oh, wait, as he was turning away. Like,
What? No, I can't even imagine
and
that.
then you would give him another chance. Okay, well, I'll give you one more chance.
How good looking was this guy?
Favorite band, whatever.
What?
Right? Give her another chance. Now, if cooking is actually a deal breaker for you, you only want a girl that could cook, for example, then you just end the interaction there, right? You end the interaction there on a positive note, have an awesome day, and look for some.
Can I go back to that real world event you got going?
You have to challenge women. Stop being the guy that supplicates, that tries to impress her. It just doesn't work. So try this out, man, because even if you don't see yourself as the prize yet,
when does he go back to it?
You have low self-esteem, you don't have that much confidence, just
oh my God, he doesn't.
Anyway, go up to a beautiful woman. I mean, imagine this for a second. You walk up to a beautiful woman, and you even cross your arms a little bit, maybe like this, and say, so tell me something cool about you. Like, you know, besides your looks, what's one interesting thing about you? You say that to a beautiful woman, even in the back of your mind, you don't really care at this point because instinctually all you want to do is progress the interaction further. You want to take her to bed, basically.
Yeah.
Start changing your brain. If you start asking women questions like this, where you're challenging,
Lone Wolf.
Eventually you will care about the answer. It will actually rewire.
He's obviously levitating using his Sigma powers.
Care. And then you'll start
yeah, that Sigma grind set's kind of nutty.
Your standards when it comes to their qualities and their answers to your qualifications.
Thanks to the prime hot man.
And you'll dismiss them. I mean, not in a real say.
He really doesn't go back to it. So the end of the interaction. Hey, ladies, what's your name? Eliza. And then Thornberry. I don't remember the other girl's name. He says, okay, well, I've got to go meet a friend. So can you tell me something cool about yourself? And then it never comes back.
Tell me one thing interesting about you. I don't know anything about you. And then just shut.
That's it. Jesus Christ. I thought there was going to be like at least like a follow-up. But I mean, I guess her face really says it all, to be honest, with the interaction. Just confusion and a little bit of disgust. Like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah, I can see. I can really see why they didn't bother coming back to that one. That was a bit rough. Thanks to give subs Lone Wolf and the Prime Stinch. I always love pickup artist channels. That shit is always so good. Talking to beautiful Russian women vlog.
I haven't taken a shower yet. I look like shit. But here's a cute girl. I'm not gonna miss this opportunity.
Alright, let's go. Oh, perfect. Optimal.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you speak English?
Nah.
Yes?
No.
Okay, I saw you.
Oh boy, it's working.
Okay. Thank you.
I just wanted to say hi. Hi.
Hi.
Matt.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hey! Nice to meet you. Are you in love with him? Okay, very good.
And they're kind of cold. So let's go find out.
Thanks to the resub, Josh, Devin, and Warlock.
no qualification. I don't even think I gave her the compliment. Yeah, that was all over the place. Mostly because she wasn't that attractive, so I kind of
Ooh.
when I got there.
Yeah, it's her fault. She wasn't hot enough.
That don't speak English, I highly recommend that you learn a few key words or phrases that will help you get to learn interesting about you.
Сначала скажи мне что-то интересное о себе.
It's also good if you learn how to say
Jesus Christ.
You teach me Russian, I teach you English. Well, I will help you English, you help me Russian.
Russian.
You teach me
Oh my
Russian,
God.
I'll teach you English.
Usually women in other countries, even if their English is really bad, they at least want to learn how to speak it.
Thanks a prime villain.
Do you speak English?
Нет. No.
Нет? Нет?
What is your name?
Okay. Nelly? Очень приятно.
Очень приятно.
Меня зовут
Юля.
Matt. Julia. Nice to meet you.
Откуда?
Откуда? Where am I from? California.
California?
Whoa!
Come with me, California.
С удовольствием.
Давай.
Ah, yes, very good.
Well, listen, do you have WhatsApp? WhatsApp?
Есть WhatsApp, да.
WhatsApp, okay.
Oh my God.
Are you?
Ah!
Сумасшедший?
Нет.
Okay, good. Хорошо. Okay, here. Okay. I'll text you. Okay, bye.
Пока. До свидания.
Okay, bye bye.
Has been on all day. I don't know what any of this says.
Ah.
I try to stop it.
It's the Risa Bibo in Aqua.
I just want my clothes back.
In my experience, meeting Russians in other countries, such as the US, sometimes they can be a little bit more, let's say less friendly. Maybe it's because they're kind of special, you know, there's not that many Russians in the US, so they
the prime
know
stinks.
that they're kind of special. You know, Russians are hot, man. I don't think anybody will argue that fact.
It makes the
But
prime
in
back.
Russia, since they're, you know, Russians are everywhere, they're not really special, they're so friendly. They're really, really friendly. A classic Soviet carnival.
Неожиданно, я думаю, ты выглядишь очень привлекательно. Is it right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ксюша.
Susha. Matt. Hi.
Юля.
Yoda. Is that a person?
Yes.
Wow. I don't want to show the people.
Oh, this is just so weird.
Well, listen. Do you have WhatsApp?
WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
Yes.
Okay, here. You're not crazy, right?
Oh, he's using the line.
I'm
Well, my phone's here, so I'll give you my number. I'll give you mine. Only
He's doing it.
Our love affair will have to be brief. So sad.
Я ничего не понимаю.
Let's have pivo. Или
Jesus
чай.
Christ.
Ти.
Later. Можем быть позже.
Позже ти.
Okay, later.
Хорошо.
All right, sounds good.
Bye
Nice
bye.
to meet you. Bye.
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 I can't remember if you're supposed to kiss on the cheek here.
This is rough. Thanks to the prime. Coom. I knew it. I fucking knew he was turning around for. I knew it. He's fucking stalking his prey out here.
You speak English?
No.
No? No English?
Everyone tells him no, they don't want to talk to you. Take the hint.
One night only? Just tonight. And then you go home. Ah, okay. We're gonna go on an instant date. Good job. Where? How about there? Old pub?
He's doing it!
So even if you're in another country, it's still pretty easy to get an instant date. I'm just waiting right now, she's on the phone, and then we're gonna go to this cafe and get some coffee.
By the way, if you're ever talking to a girl and she's on the phone, don't stand and look at her. Ignore her for a little bit, turn your back.
Calling the
text,
police.
Check your email, Facebook, whatever. But don't just stand there looking at her. I've seen guys do that a lot, and it's not good.
Well, wait, where's the date?
I think people are pretty.
Well, that didn't actually happen now, did it?
I don't know what they're saying half the time. I love you.
Something must have come up, unfortunately, I
A
think.
little bit exaggerated, I think. I have young man. You have boyfriend? Yeah, nah.
No.
Okay, Pivo ili vino.
No.
Okay.
No.
McDonald's.
Oh god, this is rough. Jesus. Wow. This is a pretty wild one. I don't know how I haven't seen this channel before. 10 pickup lines that spark attraction and actually work.
You look great and all, but you know what would look really good on you? Me. Okay, that was pretty bad. But are there pickup lines that actually do work? Or should you just drop the lines altogether and just be genuine? Nah, that's no fun. My name's Matt Artisan from The Attractive Man, and these are my top 10 pickup lines that actually work.
All right.
He has mastered. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so yet.
If these lines work, I'll subscribe.
Because you're awesome. Now, sometimes you're just standing at the bar and you see that stunner across the room and your mind goes blank. You just don't know what to say. If
I hope you had a good week,
for a while, then you know what you say isn't really that important. But you have to say something, so why not say something that gets a laugh? Number 10. Has anyone ever told you how beautiful my eyes are? This is a great
subverting expectations.
Because she thinks you're gonna say one thing and then you switch to something else, right?
So are these like a joke or something?
If
These
she
aren't
has huge
serious?
breasts, you could even say, "Wow, you have amazing eyes." Works great on big-breasted cocktail waitresses in Las Vegas. Trust me. Number 9.
I believe you.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna make you my girlfriend for the next 5 minutes. Okay? Only 5 minutes. That's it. So what are we gonna do? I think we should build a fort. This is a great role play that most women will go along with because it's fun and flirty and she just kind of wants to see where it's gonna lead. So just keep going, just keep that role play going and don't be afraid to escalate, right? Boyfriend and girlfriends usually kiss. Well, if you're gonna be my girlfriend, I have to see if you're a good kisser.
He's done it!
Doesn't seem that into the role play. You can
it works!
Say,
subscribe!
Kind of boring. I think
it clearly worked.
And after 5 minutes, make sure to break up with her, which is great because then it goes into a breakup role play. Number 8. You see a girl at a bar club in the distance and you point at her and you signal her to come here with your finger. If I can make you come with just one finger, imagine what I can do with my whole body. Now, this is really cheesy, but it's also really sexual and kind of funny, and she'll probably get a laugh at it. It also creates a lot of sexual tension. Number 7. Oh my god, I was gonna wear this exact same outfit tonight. Now, obviously, she has to be wearing something very girly, like a skirt or a dress. If she's wearing jeans and a shirt, it's not gonna work. Number 6.
I did not, Faizun. I didn't get a Halo Infinite invite.
Totally awesome. Kind of like a female version of me. This is a fun way to show your interest in her while also throwing in some cocky humor. Number 5. Hey, do you believe in vampires? Well, you should.
Sexual assault.
In a really high energy club environment because it's really playful.
Oh my god.
Sexual. And even if she pulls.
Well then, for speedrunning sexual assault charges, that's a pretty good one, I think. That'd be number 1. Like that's like Blizzard stuff right there. My god. Do people actually use these? So this guy says, number 5 will get you a sexual abuse report. That's the biting vampire shit. And then this guy says, hater, go sit with grandma and help her knit. What the fuck? I'm a bold prediction. This dude's going around biting strangers' necks and wondering why people are afraid of him. But I saw it on YouTube. Fuck, it was number 5.
Away, it still shows her that you're the type of guy who just does what he wants and doesn't really give a fuck. Or it'll just creep her out. Number 4, are you undressing me with your eyes? Bad girl.
2
eyes
girls.
Up here. Is she always like this? This is a fun little role reversal that's also very accusatory, which
Very
makes
good.
things just kind of interesting and creates a lot of tension. And her friends are likely to get a kick out of it. Number 3, I just wanted to let you know that you're the second sexiest person in this entire place.
Who's the first?
Me, of course. This is a great way to show your interest in a playful and super cocky way. Remember, you're in a bar environment, which is a playful environment, so
They
if
can't
she has
even
a good
pretend to be
personality,
interested.
She should get the joke and start bantering back with you. Number 2, hey, sorry I'm late. Traffic was so bad. Did you guys get me a drink yet? So this is a great role play. It works really good with groups that are sitting. Just sit down with them and say that
My
right away.
cock is so
And,
fucking hard.
You know, you gotta be kind of a
True.
good actor. You gotta act like you're really a part of the group, or else it's not really funny. You don't want to half-ass this. You have to fully commit. And you can keep this role play
Thanks, Resub
going, but
Dutch
be
baby.
careful what you say afterwards. For example, one
prime
time I
butter.
said, you know, traffic was really bad, and your mom called. You know how she gets. She talks and talks and talks. And the girl looks right at me and she says, oh yeah, my mom called? Really, what did she say? Because my mom's dead.
That never happened.
Yeah, there was no recovering from that one.
Yeah, it just never happened. That's
Hey.
why.
Sorry I'm late.
I don't know you.
I know, but you're about to.
And number 1, I have this rule that I have to say hi to the hottest girl in the entire club. So will you help me say hi to that girl over there?
Oh my
This is a great
god,
bait and
that's
switch
so
that you can use on
playful.
an entire group or just one individual girl. It's up to you. And they think you're going to give them this really big compliment, which is why the pause is really crucial. Make sure it's long. It should be a few seconds. Now, they're either going to start swooning and be like, oh, wow. And in that case, sometimes I don't do the switch. I just, you know, say that line and then just introduce
Yeah.
myself. I just say the first.
He's too strong. Those will work. Should try just biting strangers' necks. I think number 5 was the best one. What to say if she has a boyfriend? Yes, never take no for an answer. Okay, hardball. Okay.
Instagram, no way. I don't even use Instagram. Facebook.
I don't
you use
have a
Facebook?
phone.
All right, then we'll just have to use telepathy. I think that'll work.
Yeah.
I'll be like, all right, meet me here, and you'll be there. You'll just
will.
get like this guided
Tomorrow.
communication tomorrow, right here on this spot.
Okay.
Not
All
over there.
right, yes.
Over there, it's not gonna work. Right here.
I will.
You may have seen a lot of dating coaches do some really great approaches
give
on
some brick
YouTube,
in the
but
Prime
here's
Soldier.
the truth. Not every approach is a home run. So in this video, I'm going to show you some
give some
infield
Liam.
footage of what I do when I get a flat out no, or I have a boyfriend, or other types of objections, or just flat out rejections.
I'm Matt.
He actually shows rejections? As if he
you,
actually gets
there's
rejected.
only
Those are
really
paid
two
actresses.
reasons that would happen. Number 1, it's something that you did that triggered that. Now,
No
it
one would
could
ever
be
say no
just
to
some
him.
little thing like lack of eye contact. Maybe you were looking down because you were nervous, and that creeped her out because she felt like you were checking her out. Or something like that. It could be your body language, your tonality, or it could be the words you're saying. So that's just feedback. Don't take that personally. That just means change something, okay? Get some feedback maybe from your friend who's watching, or maybe you have a coach filming you, or something like that. Just
Yeah,
get some
totally
feedback, and then
normal.
change it. And the
Have a
second reason
coach
is,
filming
it's
you
all
try
based
and
on
talk
her.
to a
She's just
girl.
not into it. Maybe she had a bad day. Maybe she has a boyfriend and she doesn't really want to flirt with a random guy in the middle of the street. So what? No reason to take that personally, okay? But at the same time, don't give up right away. Maybe she's just testing you to see if what you're really made out of, to see if you're a real man, if you can handle some objections.
I'm a real
here and
man.
there. Or maybe she
Watch
really
this,
does
I'll go
have a
bite her neck
boyfriend,
right now.
And that's okay too. Maybe she can become your friend and hook you up with some of her other hot friends. So the point is, don't take it personally and keep going. Don't give up right away. So here's a couple examples of what I do when I get an objection, how I handle it, and what I say when the girl tells me she has a boyfriend.
Excuse me, real quick. Hi, this is totally random.
Oh god, ew.
But
It hurts.
I saw you two, and I thought your friend here was absolutely adorable.
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Christ, leave.
Listen, I gotta go, but this is what we'll do. We're gonna exchange numbers.
I can't.
And if you're cool on the phone,
Can't
maybe
do
we'll
that.
hang out.
I can't do it.
Yeah, you can.
I can't.
Sure you can.
No, I can't.
You don't have a phone?
I do have a phone, but I also have a boyfriend. Very, very jealous boyfriend.
Makes it a bit alpha.
It's the only way. Okay, fine, Jessica.
You're nice meeting
We'll do it your way.
Thank you for the compliment.
I'll just be your lover on the side, I guess.
Made my day.
That makes me feel like you just want me for my body, though. It's so bad. All right, you guys have a great day. Ciao. I was just walking by, and I saw you two, and I thought you were both absolutely adorable.
That is so sweet.
I had to at least say hi.
Very sweet.
That being said, let's have a threesome. What up with that?
Yes. We're both married and have kids, but we love compliments.
I had a
because we don't get them
feeling.
very often. We don't ever get attention, so
I
thank
had a
you.
feeling you should both
Thank you.
break up with your husbands. Come with me. All right, have an awesome day.
you.
Take care.
Okay.
But I just saw you like 2 seconds ago, and I thought I would kick myself if I didn't say hi to you.
Why does he always go up to like groups?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Hi, Matt. Dina.
Dina, nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you.
I'm sure everybody
Yeah.
comes over to talk to you because of the dog.
Let go of her hand, Matt. She's trying to. Matt, let go of her hand. Matt, she's. Matt, let go of her hand. She's trying to leave. There we go.
Well, I have to run.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, this is what we'll do. We'll exchange numbers, and if you're cool on the phone, maybe we'll hang out. Do you
I don't give up my number.
do you text?
Do I text? Not really. I'm really bad with that.
Okay, we'll use WhatsApp.
That's texting.
You want me to just type that? I just don't give up my number.
Thanks for resub, Urban Phoenix.
Here. Don't
I have a boyfriend. I have enough of this.
don't be a brat, Dina. Here.
Oh!
How else are we gonna keep in touch and have our amazing romantic?
Oh no!
All right. Have an awesome day.
You know he gets so mad when that happens.
Hey, real quick. Hi. This is really crazy. I was just walking by and I saw you and I thought you were absolutely adorable. I had to totally come in here and risk embarrassment and say hi.
Thanks to resub cross streams.
Natalia. Yes. Wy говорите по-русски? Da. My Russian's very bad though.
Where are you from?
I'm from California.
California?
Yes, but I've been to. Are you from Russia or Ukraine?
This
I'm
is.
from Moldova.
Moldova. Chisinau? Kishinev?
Have you ever heard of
Nice. I'm going
Wiener?
there in July, actually, July or August. I went to Kishinev last year. I know it's weird because nobody goes there.
What you doing?
Well, we were in Ukraine, me and my friend.
Thanks to resub
And
Chuck.
So we're like, oh, well, what's nearby? Moldova. So we just went for
Even
2
his
days.
friend is getting really uncomfortable. He's trying to leave.
I know, but it was fun. People are very nice to foreigners because I think there are no foreigners there. But anyways, I have to go.
Thanks to the friend.
Okay.
Um,
Have a good day.
At Commander.
Nice to meet you. But besides being from Moldova, what is one like cool thing about you? I don't know anything about you. I don't know if we can hang out yet.
You don't meet? No.
Nice.
But I don't know. if we
Slam
can hang out
dunk,
yet.
baby.
You don't need it.
Like, what are you passionate about? Do you like to travel?
Yeah, but I live in Vegas.
You live in Vegas now. Oh no.
Yeah.
All right, you're not a cocktail waitress, are you?
No.
Okay, good.
Thanks to
That's
the Prime
good.
Orange
I would have to
Beacon
run away
and welcome,
very
Lawless.
fast.
Okay.
But listen,
The
I
bit's
gotta
flexing.
go. Here, take my phone. Wait, you're not crazy, right?
I'm not crazy, and I don't take your phone because I'm married.
Nice.
Married.
And
I knew it.
I never did.
I had a feeling you were married. There'd be something totally wrong
Yeah.
with the world if you were married. If you were married.
Yeah, I'm married.
Okay. But I don't wanna marry you.
2 years.
I just want to get to know you. You seem like a
Oh,
nice person.
God. Yeah. He's doing it. Woo, woo. Let's go, Matt.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll be Facebook friends.
All right, Facebook
But
friends,
you
let's go.
You can't like message me all the time and do all that stuff. Here.
It's okay, but you need to understand.
I don't need it.
No, it's contact. Where is your Facebook? I just look at
Thanks
it.
for resub zombie.
And then I'll find you.
I don't know how you found me.
I don't know who that is,
My
Loaf.
name was in Russian word. But
Well, if it's meant to be.
It's meant to be, Matt. This is fate. This is fate.
Yes.
same
think-
Moldovan than me.
Moldovan.
I think so. You guys came here together.
No.
But
he was here and I'm just came.
Okay. Here.
Yeah, it's it.
All right, let's go.
No, I just give you my number.
All right,
I give 100%.
I think Moldovans or Russians in general.
Why are you still here, Matt? You win.
Like,
you did it.
And they go for what they want.
You
know
fucked.
what I mean? Like they're more masculine than Americans and Canadians and Western.
It doesn't end.
They're tough. I've noticed. But anyways, I gotta go.
Nice
It was nice meeting you. Have a great day.
That was probably the worst part of her
Now,
whole
listen up,
week.
because if you want to be able to approach beautiful women in any situation.
Oh, that was pretty nutty. I learned so much. He's a good teacher. I feel like I'm getting very good at talking to females. What do you mean that really hurt? He's got great advice. This advice probably actually works. Tiana! Fuck you. See? Now I guarantee she is feeling so much attraction right now. And it's all because I've learned the right techniques. Damn it. I'm too powerful. Fuck. I shouldn't have found this channel. I'm gonna be OP. Thanks to the resub Kira Lee and Caboose. And the Prime Hector. I'm not gonna watch all of them tonight, but I'm pretty into this lore. We've only seen Matt and I think this guy. We haven't seen him, or him. So there's still a lot of undiscovered lore in here somewhere.